Definitely not a cop. I'll tell you that.
All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. We'll pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Alahym only? Do not think that I will accuse you, the Abba. There's one that accuses you, even Moses in whom you trust. Say that, what it do, homie? And if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise the Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. 2 Chronicles 30 and 5, man.
So they established a decree to make proclamation throughout all Yasharal, from Beersheba even to Dan, that they should come to keep the Passover unto Yahuah Alahym Yasharal at Jerusalem.
Right.
But they had not done it of a long time in such sort as it was written.
Right.
So the post went with the letters from the king and his princes throughout all Yasharal and Yehudah.
Right.
According to the commandment of the king, saying, you children of Yasharal, turn again unto Yahuah Alahym of Abraham, Isaac, and Yasharal.
Right.
And he will return to the remnant of you that are escaped out of the hand of the kings of Assyria.
Right.
And be not you like your fathers and like your brethren, which trespass against Yahuah Alahym of their fathers, who therefore gave them up to desolation, as you see. Now be you not stiff-necked as your fathers were, but yield yourselves unto Yahuah, and enter into a sanctuary which ye have sanctified forever, and serve Yahuah your Alahym, that the fierceness of his wrath may turn away from you. For if you turn again unto Yahuah, your brethren and your children shall find compassion before them that lead them captive, so that they shall come again into this land. For Yahuah your Alahym is gracious and merciful, and will not turn away his face from you if you return unto him.
Exodus 34 and 6.
And Yahuah passed by before him and proclaimed, Yahuah Alahym, merciful and gracious, long-suffering, and abundant in goodness and truth.
Right.
Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin. And thou by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children's children unto the third and to the fourth.
Psalms 84. Psalms 84 and 1. Shalom, Brother Herman, man.
How amiable are your tabernacles, O Yahuah of hosts. My soul long, yea, even faint for the courts of Yahuah. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living Alahym. Yea, the sparrow hath found a house, the swallow a nest for herself, where she may lay her young. Even your altars, O Yahuah of hosts, my king and my Alahym. Baruch are they that dwell in your house, they will be still praising you, Selah. Baruch is the man whose strength is in you, and whose heart are the ways of them. Who passing through the valley of Baca make it a well, the rain also fill the pools. They go from strength to strength.
Hold on, back up to verse 5, my bad. Because I was thinking, man, I might have missed a couple calls. I need to call. Shalom, Brother Marvel. What's happening with you, Sean, man? Thinking they might have been spam calls. Read me verse 3 again.
It says, yea, the sparrow hath found a house, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she may lay her young. Even your altars, O Yahuah of hosts, my king and my Alahym.
Baruch the what?
Are they that dwell in your house, they will be still praising you.
Blessed are they that do what?
That dwell in your house.
Psalm 65 and 1. Listen to it. Praise.
Wait for you, O Alahym in Zion.
Unto you
shall the vow be performed.
O you
that hear prayer, unto you shall all flesh come.
Iniquities what?
Prevail against me.
And for our transgressions,
you shall purge them
Tell
away.
them what purge means, man. And this going to come into that loving kindness with you.
That is kafar.
The same word for atonement. So, how we want to approach this? Come over here to Hebrews 10, man. On the house. So we want to pick this up at 10 and 10 and 10.
By the which will we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Mashiach Yahushua once for all, and every priest stand daily ministering. And
often what?
The same sacrifices. Which
that can never do what?
Take away sin.
We know from Daniel 9 and 24, he say he coming to take away sin. Peace, Brother Omar, man. Come on.
So, but this man, after he had offered one sacrifice for sins forever, sat down on the right hand of Alahym.
From henceforth,
expecting till his enemies be made his footstool.
By one
offering he had perfected forever them that are sanctified.
Tell him what perfected mean right now, man. He say, by one offering he's perfected everyone who's sanctified. Peacemaker. He says, sanctify them by your truth. Your word is truth.
That is telio, to make perfect or complete.
To make you complete. Well, how would you be made complete? I mean, you would have to be lacking. Let's see. He gonna tell you. Go ahead.
Whereof the Ruach HaKodesh also is witness to us. For after that he had said before,
this
is the covenant that I'll make with them after those days.
Saith
the Lord, I will put my laws into their hearts.
And in their what?
In their minds.
And I will what?
Their sins and iniquities will I remember no more.
Now where?
The remission of these.
Which would be the purging, which be B'gi Kafar. There is what?
No more offering for sin.
So ain't no more offering for sin. We don't have to offer nothing for sin because the sin has been removed. Having therefore,
brethren, boldness, attention to the Kadash by the blood of Yahushua,
by a new
and living way,
which
he had consecrated
was made set apart through what?
Through the veil.
That is to say,
his flesh,
and having
a high priest over the house of Alahym.
What we need to do?
Let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance.
With a what type of heart?
A true heart
and full what?
Assurance of faith.
Having
our hearts sprinkled
from a what?
An evil conscience.
And our bodies
washed with pure water.
See, that go back to what we read in Isaiah 1 the other day. What else he said though? Let us what?
Hold fast the profession of our faith.
Without what?
Without wavering.
Without what?
Without wavering.
For he is faithful.
That promise.
And let us consider
one another to provoke unto love and to good works.
So we tell him what provoke means. He said we should consider each other to persuade, push, promote, provoke, that you do good works and that you love each other.
Paraxus mode, that is an incitement.
No, let me incite you. Let me motivate you. Let me drive you. Ecclesiastes 12 and 9 on general principle. Then we come back to Psalm 65. Holding Psalms 84.
And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs.
Right.
The preacher sought to find out acceptable words.
Even
that which was written upright, words of truth.
What else?
The words of the wise are as golds. And
they motive words of the wise are motivators. Why?
And as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd.
Given from what?
One shepherd.
Given from what?
One shepherd.
John 10 and 14 on the how, man, since he talking about one shepherd. Matter of fact, before you do that, Sivo, Ezekiel 37 and 13. Make it 11. Then we'll get John 10 and 14 since we talking about one shepherd.
Then he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Yasharal. Behold, they say our bones are dried and our hope is lost.
Our hope is what?
Is lost.
What else?
We are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them.
What he say?
Thus saith Yahuah Alahym, behold, O my people, I will open your graves.
I'll open your what?
Your graves.
What else?
And cause you to come up out of your graves.
Come up out of.
And bring you into the land of Yasharal. And you shall know that I am Yahuah when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves.
Brought them out.
And shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live.
See that? But consecrated by what? Civic, new and living way. Come on.
And I shall place you in your own land.
That's right.
Then shall you know that I, Yahuah, have spoken it and performed it, saith Yahuah.
Go ahead.
And the word of Yahuah came again unto me.
What he said this time?
Moreover, you son of man, take you one stick.
One stick.
And write upon it for Yehudah and for the children of Yasharal, his companion.
His companion.
Then take another stick and
for
write
who?
upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Yasharal,
his companion.
And join them one to another.
That's right.
One stick, they shall become one in your hand.
In your hand.
And when the children of your people shall speak unto you, saying, will you not show us what you mean by these? Say unto them, thus saith Yahuah Alahym, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim.
That's right.
And the tribes of Yasharal, his fellows, and will put them with him.
Put them with him.
Even with the stick of Yehudah.
That's
and
right.
make them one stick.
One stick.
They shall be one in my hand.
What else?
And the sticks whereon you write shall be in your hand before your eyes. And say unto them, thus saith Yahuah Alahym,
what did he say?
I will take the children of Yasharal from among the heathen where they be gone, and will gather them on every side,
and
bring them into their own land.
And
I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Yasharal.
That's right.
And one king shall be king to them all.
That's right.
And they shall be no more two nations.
No more.
Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they defile themselves with their idols or with their detestable things.
What else?
Nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of their dwelling places.
He's going to purge them.
Wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them, so shall they be my people.
Then he just said he'll sprinkle your mind from an evil conscience with pure water. Keep on going, though.
And David, my servant, shall be king over them. They shall have one shepherd.
That's right.
They shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes.
They go that Ruach again. Come on.
And they shall dwell in the land that I've given unto Jacob, my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein.
What else?
They, their children, and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever.
Forever.
Moreover, I'll make a covenant of shalom with them.
Oh, there we go.
And it shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary.
Tell them what shalom is there, man. He said make a covenant of shalom with you. But it's not, it's going to be a different word there. It's shalom. Tell them what it means.
This is completeness, soundness, welfare, peace, completeness, safety, soundness.
What did we just read when he said you've been perfected by what? One offer, and it said for you to be complete. So this one shepherd who's going to take these two sticks and make them one is going to enter into a covenant that's going to make you complete, make you whole. That's what that new covenant do. That's why he said I'm going to purge them from their iniquities. It's going to make you complete. It's going to make you whole. This is a part of the graciousness and mercy that he's showing. As we coming out unleavened bread, like I got a brother I know, man, he be like, when did Passover come about? Yahuah being the Passover lamb, like everybody be on some whole other stuff, and you missing the key component. Because memorialize your forefathers coming out of Egypt. But it was about obtaining freedom. And it wasn't freedom that was gained from keeping the law. It was freedom that was gained through faith in the word of Yahuah. It was Yahuah that justified them because they trusted in him. You know what I'm saying? And therefore that set them free. So you take this same tenet, again, because some people are simple-minded. This doesn't mean that you don't have to keep the law. You have to understand what things are for and what their purpose is and the effect that they bring about. The law cannot free you because it was never made to free you. That doesn't mean you don't have to do it. But when people hear that, see, you got to understand something what people operate. I've been telling y'all this all week. People hear what they want to hear. And the people are going to perceive, you just seen it just now. People are going to perceive what they want to perceive based off the level of depth perception that they have, because some people are not listening to understand. They're listening to find a point of contention. And it just is what it is. Or not always just contention. Sometimes some people are so locked into their particular perspective that they're not going to be able to understand yours. You know what I'm saying? Like even we were just talking about, like a man said, okay, where he was at, it wasn't survival. But at the same token, it was. Maybe not for him, but for his previous peers it was, because you had a crew saying, y'all got to get down with us or change your name. Well, if you don't change the name, that's going to be a problem between you and them. You know what I'm saying? And they probably didn't pick up on that, but I know how the game goes. You know what I'm saying? If I'm coming to you as an illicit organization and I'm telling you, hey, the name you got is bringing heat on us. So you got to get down with us or change your name. Now, what if I say I ain't changing the name? That's going to cause strife. You know what I'm saying? But I mentioned that because we just having the in-depth conversation about the street and the codes of the street. A lot of times people get caught up thinking it's about the street, but it's about being a man. Now, of course, the impetus was this is because a Gucci Man made a song dissing a dude that he made statements on. And I don't particularly care that he made statements on this man. But the issue is if you present yourself to be a street dude and that you say you operate by these particular codes, then people are going to expect you to adhere to that at all times. Now, because I said that in there earlier, it's no different with the word. I said, because you got a multitude of people who talk about the word 24/7, but they do not uphold the tenets of the very thing that they're espousing to people every day. Now, some ladies may not understand how serious this is, but if you are a man of any manner of honor, any manner of respect, any manner of esteem whatsoever, as a man, you're going to find that offensive to the highest order. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't look me in the face and tell me you about X, Y, Z, and you really not about that for real. Because you flawed and you fake and you phony. And we don't respect it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that serious. Now, just because when you're not in a particular type of lifestyle, like when they want to talk about gang banging in the cities where they from, I can't talk about that because we don't gang bang here. You know what I'm saying? So the elements of the mindset that go into gang banging, I can't relate to that. That's not my life. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that around here. But I also know people who've been in it. I understand the thought process of how that works. And it's funny because I think I said that out loud to y'all when somebody was mentioning like how the elders in some of the camps beef with each other, and that beef got passed on to the members in their organization, and now these members are beefing with an organization because the elders don't like each other. I'm like, bro, that's what happened in a lot of gangs. You carrying on a beef because that wasn't with y'all, because two people don't like each other. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, my man say these people be sneak dissing each other in their lessons when they could just simply as men just go have a conversation and iron that out. Facts. I already know it, Omar. I said that happens in different routes. Because I ain't gonna lie. And sometimes pride be getting in the way. But a lot of issues that brothers be having that spill out into all-out conflicts, and I ain't necessarily talking about, gangs, just period. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that stuff could have been ironed out if they just would have sat down and had a conversation. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times they be wanting to have a conversation, but one or both parties don't know how to reach out to each other to have the conversation. So to save face, they just walk around and let it blow up, and then it get too far where it ain't no turning back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no different. It's sad because most of the next generation just, carrying on the beef that they don't even really know why they don't like these people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot of stuff can really just be, and it really just shows to the level of maturity that most of us are at, that we just can't have a conversation and let stuff get that bad. You know what I'm saying? And it should never get that bad, especially because a lot of times when these beefs start, these people be knowing each other already, or because they was growing up together, or playing sports together, or going to school. Like, these aren't foreign people that they just don't know, that they don't like. You know what I'm saying? And now you can't fool with somebody who live a half a mile away from you, who you know your whole life. That junk be crazy. Go ahead, man.
So my tabernacle also shall be with them. Yea, I will be their Alahym.
Well, good. John 10:14. Because a lot of the stuff y'all seen with all the videos they made about the beefs here in Jacksonville, all them boys knew each other. They went to school with each other. Some of them played ball with each other. Some of them related. You know what I'm saying? But people don't be understanding, man, once you get out there in them streets like that, man, all that junk go out the window. That junk just go out the window, man. Go ahead, bro.
I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am known of mine. As the Abba know me, even so know I the Abba, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold.
That's right.
Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd.
That's right.
Therefore do my Abba love me, because I lay down my life, that I might take it again. No man take it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my
I only read that because he said he was going to purge that sin. Psalm 65:3. Because iniquities have strengthened themselves against you, and our transgressions, he said, I'll atone for them. I'll cover them. Go ahead. Verse 3. Psalm 65. We holding Psalms 84.
Iniquities prevail against me. As for our transgressions, you shall purge them away.
Baruch
is the man whom you choose
and cause
to approach unto you, that he may dwell in your courts,
which we make when we shall be satisfied
with the goodness of your house, even of your Kadash.
Now I go back to the verse I was telling you about the other day. He said, "Blessed is the man that he chooses." That's Bakar. Give him the definition of Bakar, man. Cotton Raj. Listen, That's why I say many are called and few are chosen.
This is to choose, to elect, to decide for.
Blessed is the man he decide for. Blessed is the man that he elects. Blessed is the man that he chooses. Sometimes it's the knowledge of presumption of a person's volatile behavior when the other person needs to confront them about the issue. Yeah. That's a fact. Now, sometimes I wasn't saying it with fear, though. I just say sometimes it be pride, man. Sometimes niggas do be wanting to squash stuff, and they just don't know how to go talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's something, we all men here. You know how sometimes men get, man. And they really don't really want to go there, keeping it going, but niggas don't know how to stop it. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, people just don't really have the conflict resolution skills to know how to stop it. And then shoot, time go on, man. Now, what you stated, Marvin, is definitely a case for some people. They feel like somebody volatile. I can't talk to this man, so you know what I'm saying? It just keep on going. But I was really referencing most specifically, like sometimes dudes don't really be wanting to fall out and be at odds with this other man like that. They just don't know how to go resolve it. And then it just keep on going. And then in the case of like being in the street, once blood gets shed, it's over. You know what I'm saying? And now it done went too far. Once somebody had to go bury somebody, now I done went too far. When it come with the word, from what I done observed, dudes just not knowing how to go have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Some dudes be cowards. Sometimes they be pride. Sometimes, I ain't always say pride. Sometimes dudes just be stubborn. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes dudes just don't know how to do it. Like they don't know how to be like, you know what, bro? My bad, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it and iron it out. You know what I'm saying? Which is why the texts talk about having forgiveness and forbearing one another. And those are skills that have to be developed. You know what I'm saying? For sure. You know what I'm saying? Counsel got to be had, which is just go have a conversation. That's why I would tell you, man, like how X put it, when there's conflict, it destroys the love. You feel me? So you got to know how to handle conflict so the love don't get separated. You know what I'm talking about? Because the worst thing in the world for most dudes is somebody that you got love for, and they got love for you, but y'all separated and y'all don't know how to reconcile that. You know what I'm saying? Dudes be bothered about that stuff, man, if it's really somebody they genuinely got love for. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to be separated. Just on a national scale, where you can see an example of that is with Mason Cameron, because these dudes grew up together. You know what I'm talking about? And they fell out. And the crazy part is they fell out about a misunderstanding based off of Cameron's lack of knowledge of the music business, where he spent a couple decades and some change separated from his best friend. You know what I'm saying? But you could also tell that they were best friends, because once they sat down and actually had that conversation and ironed all that stuff out, it was as if they had never stopped hanging with each other. That's how you know that these are two men, even though they might have been at odds. I love this nigga, but I don't know how to go talk to him. You know what I'm saying? And it really took a third party to be like, hey, y'all got to handle that. You know what I'm saying? For that to occur. But it really was from a misunderstanding. That really could have been if they would have sat down and had a conversation and not let their anger, pride, or emotions get in the way, that none of that would have occurred. None of that would have occurred. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean by that, because you'll be surprised how many relationships done got severed because of misunderstandings or miscommunications. You know what I'm saying? Because you took something this way, and instead of going to clarify with this person, you ran with it. And the whole time, that wasn't what it was. Peace, Brother Nate. That wasn't what it was, man. You know what I'm saying? And now you've been at odds with somebody for 5, 10, 15 years. By something, if y'all would have had a conversation, man, that junk would have been water under the bridge, man. You know what I'm saying? Song 65 and 5. Hold on. Say, even on Mace, get ready, he shouted Cam out during they fallout. Yeah, for sure. That they were real deal homeboys. You know what I'm saying? And them be the falling outs that hurt the most if it don't turn violent. Because this really my homeboy. I really love this dude. And since I know how he is, yeah, he's shooting at me, I'm shooting at him, but I can't really like be mad with him. But I can't let him do me like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is what it is. You know, and that's an example of, because, you know, I don't want to mention people like who you know actually, but just like BG and Soldier Slim was tight. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, a lot of stuff don't be working, bro. You know what I mean? But dudes, people don't know how to do that. So that's how, hey, what's going on? That's why I say that's how that stuff get passed down. You know what I'm saying? You could even see that in your family, man. Family members fall out and then they try to recruit people to be angry with this part of your family, and now y'all got issues with each other, and all that stuff could have been squared away if people just sat down and talked. But most of the time, it don't happen for a lot of reasons. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Sabo. Psalm 65.
By terrible things and righteousness will you answer us, Alahym of our salvation, who are the confidence of all the ends of the earth, and of them that are afar off upon the sea.
Which,
by his strength, set fast the mountains, being girded with power.
Which,
still the noise of the seas, the noise of their waves, and the tumult of the
people. That verse speaks to when the Lord was walking on that water, man. They was in that boat and he stilled the sea. You know what I'm talking about? They say, man, what manner of man this is that the wind and the waters obey him. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, man.
So they also that dwell in the uttermost parts are afraid of your tokens. You make the outgoings of the morning and evening to rejoice.
Tell them what them tokens is, man. You got some doggone tokens for Chuck E. Cheese?
That's oath, sign, or signal, or distinguishing mark, a banner, remembrance, or miraculous.
A miraculous act, man. You say the signs, people afraid at your tokens. And people was afraid when that doggone earthquake came and that doggone veil rent. But we just keep it pushing right there. Yeah, you're afraid of his signs. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at tokens, they're afraid of his signs. Tell them what afraid mean in that passage, man.
Yes, y'all ready to fear, to revere,
to be afraid, to have respect. To have respect. Remember, it said that, read in Matthew 27 and 50, man. Them people were scared when they seen that sign, boy. This man had to be the Son of God, boy. What I just seen. They humbled themselves when they seen that. Go ahead, Sabo.
So Yahuah, when he had cried again with a loud voice, he yielded up the Ruach, and behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom.
To the top to the bottom.
Quake, and the rocks rent.
What happened?
And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose.
That's right.
And came out of the graves.
Shalom, Sister Jenny. Shalom, Brother Shaw.
Peace, Brother Joseph. City, and appeared unto many. Now, when the centurion and they that were with him watching Yahuah saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, this was the son of Alahym.
I'm afraid at your tokens. You know what I'm saying? They fear. I got great reverence. I'm in awe at what I just seen. And there's a few other places, but that's just their bridge version, because we really ain't supposed to be in Psalm 65 like that. But I'm just finna run that down. You feel me? Bird 9.
So you visit the earth and water it, and greatly enrich it with the river of Alahym,
which is what?
Full of water.
And you preparing what?
Then corn, when you have so provided.
Now, what y'all think this mean when you visit the earth? You water it, greatly enrich it. The river of Alahym. Ah, man, come to the waters and drink. Huh? So, you know, of course, he talking about the Ruach HaKodesh, man. It's full of water. And then he prepared you corn. But what is that corn? You know what I'm saying? Burnt offerings and sacrifice you didn't require. But a body you have prepared for me. You know what I'm saying? So nevertheless, so I guess you know what that corn is. If you know John 6, if you know John 12, then you know what it is. Come on, man. Verse 10.
So you water the ridges thereof abundantly.
Set what?
The furrows thereof.
And you make it soft.
With showers. You baruch the springing thereof.
You crown
the year with your goodness.
And your paths
drop fatness.
And they drop
upon the pastures of the wilderness.
Little hills.
Rejoice on every side.
The pastures
are clothed with flocks.
The valleys
also are covered over with corn. They shout for joy. They
also sing. So we was in Psalms 85. I kept saying, but it's really Psalms 84. My apologies. Psalms 84 and 4. And again, those things still point to the grace of Yahuah, man. Amen, man. Yahuah do the same for you, my G. You know what I'm talking about? Because Listen. The grace, mercy, and loving kindness of Yahuah is the most wonderful thing that an individual can encounter. You know what I'm saying? Mom Dukes done started the process of writing this book, man. I'm going to read you something that she wrote. She told me I can adjust it to put it in my words, man. That's right. Amen, Brother Herman, man. You know what I'm saying? So let me just read this here, man. Now, she was just writing about what assembly of the firstborn signals. Because since, you know, they're preaching, I'm contributing to it, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be scriptural perspectives from our point of view. And she was like, this is not an incidental background. It's architecturally important. So if you get Hebrews 12 and 23, if you didn't know, the congregation is literally named after a verse in this book, Hebrews 12 and 23 to be exact. I know I probably said it on camera before, but I can't remember the last time we said it. But basically, without going into great detail, y'all, for those of you who know, y'all know what we do on Day of Atonement. You know what I'm saying? Keep it at that. Hold on, y'all. So go ahead. What we at with?
He was talking.
So we was doing what we do on Day of Atonement. Police asked me, was we with the church? And this verse came to mind, so that's what I told him. And that's why this congregation is named what it's named. Hebrews 12 and 23.
To the General Assembly and Assembly of the Firstborn, which are written in Shamaim, and to Alahym, the judge of all, and to the ruachs of just men made perfect.
Read it again.
To the General Assembly and Assembly of the Firstborn, which are written in Shamaim.
Written where?
In Shamaim.
What else?
Alahym, the judge of all, and to the ruachs of just men.
You do me a favor, perfect. Man. Read me verse 20, man. Read me a couple verses in front. Hebrews 12 and 20.
They could not endure that which was commanded, and if so much as a beast touch the mountain, it shall be stoned or thrust through with a dart.
Go ahead.
And so terrible was the sight that Moses said, I exceedingly fear and quake.
See, that takes again, they were afraid at your tokens. So I just went and added it in Mashiach's page, but you know, we can go back in the law and you can see that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
But you are come unto Mount Zion and unto the city of the living Alahym.
Where what?
The heavenly Jerusalem.
What else?
To an innumerable company of Malachim.
And what else?
To the General Assembly and Assembly of the Firstborn, which are written in Shamaim, to Alahym, the judge of all, and to the ruachs of just men made perfect.
See, that goes back to the perfection again, but keep on going.
And to Yahuah, the mediator of the new covenant.
There it is. They go to mercy right there to purge your transgressions.
And to the blood of sprinkling that speak better things than that of Abel.
Remember, Abel's blood spoke from the ground. So he's saying the blood that Yahuah spilled speak of greater things than what Abel's blood spoke. Come on, man.
See that you refuse not him that speak.
Don't
do they escape not who refuse him that spake on the earth. Much more shall not we escape if we turn away from him that speak from Shamaim.
Now that's good. Now here's the first point. Mentions that to the General Assembly, Church of the Firstborn, which are written in heaven. This congregation is named from Scripture itself. It also stated that we celebrate the feast, meaning that we operate with a Hebraic lens on the gospel. Torah is not background noise, but is the living framework. Now we're non-denominational, no creedal sealing, no institutional filter on the text. Now, for those of you who are familiar with that, you know, when you deal with certain denominations, whether it be Kojic, Pentecostal, Baptist, or whatever the case may be, the text is filtered through that particular denominational lens. So whatever that creed of doctrine of the individual who formed said church, that's how the text is filtered. Feast observance, it means that we understand covenant calendar, covenant relationship, covenant love, which means chesed, which is the Hebrew word for loving kindness. It's not a foreign concept to us. It is practiced amongst us. This means that when we speak about agape love, we're speaking from a community that is going to enact covenant love. I'd never pronounce this doggone word, liturgically, which is a profound authorial credential, which is basically, public worship, group worship. You know what I'm saying? Now, I reference that because of the stating that is the exact objective, because this is what the text lays out. You know what I'm saying? Of understanding what actual chesed, that loving kindness is, or that ahab, that love is. For me, it's not a feeling. It's not, I feel like this, so I'm not going to love you today. That's why, what I'm saying? Like, and we could get more into it. I'm only mentioning it because of what's in that particular passage, what we just read, right? I say, I wasn't raised that love was a feeling. So when you raise that love as an emotion, then that means you love according to whatever you feel at any particular moment. You don't love based off of the duty and responsibility, care and concern that is encapsulates. You know what I'm saying? As I mentioned to you the other night, and I've mentioned to you previous times before, it causes you to chase after something that you could never have. And then when I say you never have, because fundamentally now you're operating no different than the drug addicts that you see. And you sit back and you look at drug addicts like, what are you doing with your life? Whoop, wop, whoop. And then in reality, you chase love, you're no different from them, because the same chemical release in their brain that they get from their narcotic of choice, you're getting from your narcotic of choice, which is seeking romantic love. You know what I'm saying? And then because of that desire to seek after that, it causes us not to be able to attach to Yahuah in that proper way, because you're replacing him with that. You know what I'm saying? He said drug addicts deserve that vindication right there. Indeed, because a lot of people, drug of choice is love. You say, why we only got to stigmatize addicts? And that's a fact. And that's because the advent of romantic love in this particular society is very, very lucrative. You know what I'm saying? Godly love is not lucrative because you cannot monetize it. Y'all all right? What you out there doing? They playing, they shooting. Because you can't monetize it. You know what I'm saying? You can't monetize godly love. It's not possible. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way I told you can't monetize the gospel. Not if you preach a Yahushua HaMashiach. If you're preaching the good news, you can't monetize that. It's not possible for it to be monetized. You can't really get paid off of that because, number one, people don't want it. Number two, it's going to uphold a standard and a way of living that it's not monetizable. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So when you look at godly love, you can't really sell that to people because it doesn't tap into their emotions. It doesn't tap into their desires. It doesn't tap into their attachment issues. It doesn't tap into any of that. You can't sell, that's the best way to put it. You can't sell a dream. See, with the gospel and godly love, the true gospel of Yahushua HaMashiach and godly love, you can't sell a dream. But with romantic love and a false gospel, you can sell a dream. What I mean by dream, you can sell a hope of expectation that you know can never genuinely be attained. You know what I'm saying? This is why you might happen to see people get on the internet and talk about, oh, baby, don't settle. There's a man who's going to do this. There's a man who's going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Woo. It's selling a dream that is realistically unattainable for most. And because some people will be like, well, I found this one woman or one man who will do this. This gives the delusional population the belief that I can hold out to get this unattainable result. So therefore, what do you have? You have a disconnected, disjointed society, neighborhood, and culture that will never attach to anyone that will never produce a loving environment of groups of people. And therefore, they can easily be manipulated and ruled over by the people who want to dominate them. Straight like that. You know what I'm saying? The social engineering at its finest. And we don't realize that. Like I told you the other day, if it come through that TV, if they put it on a movie screen, you know what I'm saying? If it comes through your speakers in the form of any type of musical genre, I'm not just talking about rap and hip hop because that's what you listen to. I'm talking about alternative rock, heavy metal, pop music, contemporary adult music, country music. They're selling you a vision of love that is not aligned with the concepts and values and principles that Yahuah promotes. So they're selling you a dream. And you purchase that dream. And the thing is that you've been woke up and told that it was a dream, but you didn't like the harsh reality of what love is because it's sacrificial and it's going to require something of you. So you went back to sleep. To dream of a love that you'll probably never encounter because it comes from the walls of a Hollywood basement. Come on, Zero. Psalms 84 and 4.
Baruch are they that dwell in your house, but they will be still praising you, Selah.
Blessed
is the man whose strength is in you,
whose heart
are the ways of them.
You know we're going to need it. Isaiah 26 and 3.
You will keep him in perfect shalom.
That's right.
Find a state on you.
Why?
He trusts in you.
Trust.
And Yahuah forever.
For trust.
And Yahuah is everlasting strength.
That's right. That's right. And that's why I say blessed is who man whose strength is in you. If your strength is in Yahuah, you are a blessed individual. Because that means the joy of Yahuah is also your strength. Psalms 84 and 6. Who's passing?
Through the valley of Baca, make it a well. The rain also filled the pool.
They go from what?
Strength to strength.
Every one of them.
In Zion appear before Alahym.
Oh, Yahuah Alahym.
Of hosts.
Hear my prayer.
Give ear, O Alahym of Jacob.
Behold.
O Alahym, our shield.
That's right.
Look upon the face of your anointing.
Go and give him Genesis 15 and 1. Because I mentioned this verse the other day. Listen what he say. Let me make sure that's the right one. It might be 17 and 1. It is 17 and 1. Read that.
When Abraham was 99 years old, Yahuah appeared to Abram and said unto him,
what he said?
I'm the Almighty Alahym. Walk before me and be you perfect. And I'll make my covenant between me and you and will multiply you exceedingly.
Listen, he said, walk before me and be you what?
Be you perfect.
Now go to Genesis 15 and 1 because I wanted that one first.
After these things, the word of Yahuah came unto Abram in a vision, saying,
what he said?
Fear not, Abram, I am your shield and your exceeding great reward.
Tell him what shield means, man. Say, walk before him and be complete.
That is Meganah, your shield or buckler.
I'm your protection. You know what I'm saying? Give me Ephesians 6 and 10 on general principle. Now, I mention this because he said Alahym is our shield. He's your protection. But what is he protecting you from? From delusion. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, you know what I'm saying? That's a fact, Herman. You know, as it says in Revelation, man, you know, the devil who go about and deceive the whole world. And as I've always referenced to you, because Galatians tell you that if you Mashiach, you have crucified your affections and lusts. I'm here to tell you, man, you can't operate according to your emotions in this particular world. Your emotions by themselves will deceive you without any outside influence. You know what I'm saying? But when you take an outside influence, when I say outside influence, I'm talking about the machinations of a God-forsaken culture that is built upon hedonism and debauchery and degeneracy of all types. That its whole entire objective is to monetize your pain, to monetize your lust, to promote any and everything that will absolutely and utterly destroy you. And when I say destroy you, I'm not just talking about spiritually. I'm talking about mentally. I'm talking about emotionally. I'm talking about physically. Anything that can get your mind diluted and diluted to where you will never be able to attach yourself to the man who created you. This is their objective. This is their rhyme and reason, and they do it all for profit. You understand? Someone alluded to me pandering with something I posted yesterday, but I think he captured the point I was trying to make. You don't think, it is what it is. Some people some of these dudes is so hateful when it comes to stuff, man. Some people hate their mama so bad, or the woman who they broke their heart so bad, that if you say anything remotely positive or uplifting to a woman, they believe that you pandering. And it's the same side with a lot of women. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can't agree with a man and all these type of things. And all this stuff comes from, oh, boy, them crackers got you, boy. Once you go to talking like that, boy, they got you. Because now you operating outside of the framework that Yahuah wanted us to operate in. And now you operating in a framework of dastardly proportions. You understand? Because all these people are out to do is to get you further and further away from your God. As we talked about last night, hell wasn't made for man. Hell was made for the devil and his angels. But Satan worked overtime to try to drag as many people down with him as possible. See, Satan ain't a snitch or a rat. He the worst type of criminal you can meet, because he runs up on people to cajole and to convince and to berate and possibly even, what's the term they use? What they call that young man in the street, man? I mean, the police, man. And trap you into doing something and then throw his hands up once you get locked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, man. You know what I'm saying? I know some people might not like it because they might feel like we minimize Satan, but I don't give whole niggas, no platform like that, man. You know what I'm saying? It lets you know, man, he's a buster, cuz. You know what I'm saying? He's not somebody to be scared of, man. You should never be scared of a sucker, of a buster, of a hoe. What you scared of him for? Listen, people got more fear for Satan than they do for Yahuah, man. Ain't that something? You got people think Satan got more power over you than God do. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But the only reason why you believe that Satan got that much power over you, man, is because you are constantly and consistently giving in to your desires. So as long as you constantly and consistently give in to your emotions and desires, Satan will always have power over you. That's why he said that he who you yield your members to is to whom you obey, whether sin unto death or obedience unto life. So as long as you keep yielding your members to unrighteousness, then he gonna have power over you. But the man told you, if the Son shall set you free, you shall be free indeed. And again, where the word of the King is, there's power, there's mastery. You can have mastery over your heart. You can have mastery over your mind. You can have mastery over your flesh simply by believing and holding fast to the promises, word of Yahuah Alahym. But we don't be wanting to do that because you think you're smarter than the program. I know that's the thing that people have been saying these days. Oh, he run a strict program. But the reality is Yahuah do run a strict program. You know what I'm saying? See, for me, there's absolutely no way in the world, even before the word, that I would even consider getting on a woman's program. That's absolutely crazy to me. You know what I'm talking about? I'm finna do XYZ to have you. Man, you got me messed up. That's wild. I'm not finna get on no man's program. Not finna do none of that. You know what I'm talking about? No, hell no. But when you talking about getting on God's program, absolutely. And what I mean get on a man program, that means you're going to do all this here to be cool with somebody, bro? We're not talking about if you're working in a framework of an organization, because obviously if you volunteer to be a part of an organization, whether you're being compensated for or it's a fraternal organization of some type, obviously you are acknowledging that you're going to get on somebody's program because you have to adhere to the tenets and rules of that said organization to be a part of it. You can't come work at a bank and smoke cigarettes at the telebooth. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to work here. So I'm not referring to that. You know what I'm saying? We referring to you gonna do, to be made. No, I'm not doing all that with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I'm certainly under no, ain't a woman on this earth vagina good enough or beautiful enough for me to be like, I'm gonna get on her program and whatever she say it is, that's what I'm gonna do. Man, I'm finna slide, baby. I ain't finna cha-cha slide. I'm not finna electric slide. I'm finna slide. I'm finna walk right on up out of here because this nigga's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But for some people, they see the rhyme, reason, and purpose in doing so. And that's their business. The same token of, I'm not finna push no woman, oh, you got to get on my program, man. This is how I roll. You want to get down, this is what it is. You ain't got to do nothing. And when you look at that, that's how Yahuah roll. Hey, man, this is what I do. But if you want to get down with me, this is what you gonna do. Or you can't be down with me. People don't like that plainness of speech because then you forced to have to make a decision. See, people don't want to make a decision. They want to waffle. They want to be able to straddle the fence and play games versus being hit with unadulterated, man, you're going to have to barbecue a meal, baby. What you going to do? What is you going to do? Because I ain't got no time to play with you. Because the time you wasting, I could have had somebody who want to be here and we could have been making something happen. We could have been moving forward. You trying to hold up progress where you decide what it is that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't got time for that. What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
That's right.
Put on the whole armor of Alahym, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Talk to him.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood,
right.
but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world,
against
spiritual wickedness in high places.
Spiritual wickedness.
Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of Alahym,
whole armor,
that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth, having on the breastplate of righteousness.
That's right.
And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of shalom. Above all, taking the shield of faith.
Taking the what?
The shield of faith,
which is
where you should be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
That's your protection. That's how he your shield. He gonna protect you from all the fiery darts of the wicked, man. Tell him what them fiery darts is, man.
Fire is parole, that is to burn with fire, to set on fire, to kindle, to be incense, indignant.
Indignant. Hey.
And then darts is balas, a missile, dart, javelin, arrow.
And you know, he tell you in one of them songs, man, they shoot missiles at the perfect in secret. You feel me? If men and Satan fell at the same time, wouldn't hell be made for both of them? Or is it because man? Now that's a good question. Now this is the key. Satan was set from condemnation from the jump street. You know what I'm saying? Yahuah didn't condemn man, which is where your astute observation on the back end come in at, where man was given redemption. Because man was able to be bought back. Satan was not bought back. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, the lake of fire, the valley of Himnon, the valley of Tophet was explicitly and specifically prepared for him. Because as we read last night in Ezekiel, he says, I, Yahuah, have no pleasure in the death of him that dieth, but turn yourselves and live. And he said, oh, why will you die, O house of Yasharal? So because man is made in his image and likeness, he had compassion upon them. He gave them a redeemer that they didn't have to suffer such a fate. Peace, each man. But man chooses to indulge in such a fate. So therefore, he'll have to suffer with Satan. But Satan, because basically, as you stated clearly, Satan wasn't giving mercy, man was. You know what I'm talking about? They say they only coin, you can't see the other side of your own token. I'm just thinking of things. For sure. You know what I'm saying? And always stuff is just to provoke thought, man, to weigh and consider. Yeah, his kingdom is prepared for his creation and hell is prepared for Satan. Yeah, that's facts. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Like, shoot. Satan was done first quarter. You know what I'm saying? Man was not. And let me ask y'all this here. Where can you read to point out, to show that there was some redemption for Adam coming? Now, obviously, you only got 5 chapters with Adam in it. You know what I'm saying? So that means you have a short window in order to look through. You know what I'm talking about? Read Proverbs 16:4. Or say Satan is really the personification. You know what I'm talking about? Read Proverbs 16:4 while you think upon that query.
Say Yahuah have made all things for himself.
Indeed.
Even the wicked for the day of evil.
Indeed. Shalom, Brother Ernie, man. So listen, what can you point out to? This is not even 5 chapters. It's really 4. You only got Genesis 2, 3, 4, and 5, where Adam is explicitly named. You can take Genesis 1 if you choose. but explicitly named as 2, 3, 4, and 5. So from those 5 chapters or 4 chapters, if you so choose, where can you point at to say, here is where I can see the foreshadowing? Not even the foreshadowing, the outright plain redemption of Adam. There it say Genesis 3 and 21. Read it, see.
I was thinking when he covered the fact that he even covered their sins.
Genesis 3. So let's look and see. Omar got Genesis 3 and 21 also. Read it for him.
Say unto Adam also and to his wife did Yahuah Alahym make coats of skins and clothed them. And Yahuah Alahym said, behold, the man has become as one.
That's good. Tell him what coat of skins is one more time, man. For those who might not know.
Coat is kutaneth, that is a tunic or undergarment. A long shirt-like garment, usually of linen. And skins is already, that's skin or skin of men, hide of animals. It's the only quote, Genesis 5 and 29.
Read it for him. That's probably dealing with Noah. Now you'll direct on down the line because we talking about Adam explicitly, but that is a redemption process with Noah's name. Go ahead.
Yeah, saying he called his name Noah, saying, this same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which Yahuah have cursed.
It's fair because it mentioned the ground of curse. But yeah, that coat of skins, man. Because he didn't kill him, he covered his sin. And the fact that he covered the sin and take you to what the definition of kafar is, which is to cover, which means there was a reconciliation coming. And if there's a reconciliation coming, that means there's a padah or a kofar coming. You know what I'm talking about? And then, of course, what it mentioned in Genesis 5 and 29 pointing to the Ruach HaKodesh. You did? So, yeah, you're absolutely correct on that. You know what I'm saying? There was a redemption made for Adam. There was no redemption for Satan. He said he was cursed to go upon his belly. I think I mentioned it last night. He cursed to go about. Get that for him, man. Philippians chapter 3, man. Verse 17.
Brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as you have us for an example.
That's
for
right.
many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the stake of Yahuah, whose end is destruction, whose Alahym is their belly.
Alahym is their what?
Is their belly.
And they mind
is in their shame, whose mind earthly things.
What else?
So our conversation is in Shamaim, from whence also we look for the Savior. The
That's
Lord
good,
Yahuah.
right? So they God is their belly, they mind earthly things. 1 Corinthians 6 and 13. Make it 6 and 9. Listen.
Know you not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the merciful Alahym?
We'll say he thought about that bruising on his head. That's fair too, because we mentioned that last night because he got stepped on. You've been vanquished. You're done. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Say, be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves, of mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the Malkuth of Alahym.
Right.
And such were some of you, but you are washed. You
are sanctified.
You are justified in the name of the Lord Yahushua.
You've been made righteous in the name of Yahushua.
By the rock of our Alahym.
Now notice, if you've been made righteous by the name of Yahushua, and he is Yahuwah's salvation, that means you have been justified in the fact that Yahuwah is merciful, gracious, long-suffering, abundant in goodness and truth, showing mercy unto thousands, forgiving sin, iniquity, and transgression. Because blessed is he whose sins are covered. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what you've seen with Adam. See, pause. Get Psalm 32 and 1 more time, man. Because that's literally what you're seeing with Adam. His sins were covered. But people don't pay attention to that. Some people are like, oh, Solomon did this here, but Solomon's sin was covered. Just like David's sin was covered. Because people like we want to come up with, oh, he ain't going to get in the kingdom. Come on, man. You sound dumb. You sound dumb. Remember, we had a conversation with a nigga about this. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask you this here. I'm going to tell you this here, right? Boom. You had a conversation with, you know what I'm talking about? He told us, yeah, man, Solomon ain't getting in the kingdom. What verse? Some of y'all might remember what I told him if you was there. But what verse would you take if somebody told you Solomon was going to hell? What verse would you use to refute such a claim? Because there's one. And it's a one-hitter quitter. It's Mike Tyson in his prime. And I ain't saying a one-hitter quitter for the aspect of cutting somebody in a conversation. I'm talking about as forth as eliminating such a thought process. Because everybody want to look at somebody who's got a memorial in this book and say they going to hell as if you locked in. 2 Samuel 7:15. Nigga don't even be locked in. How you locked in? You big, fat, greasy, no good, stinking bastard Jew. What's wrong with you, boy? Come on, man.
But my mercy shall not depart away from him as I took it from Saul.
And that's the end of the conversation. So yeah, Solomon was out of pocket. He said, but my mercy I won't take from him. And you see him being punished, but you don't see him getting killed. Because he said, I'm gonna take the kingdom from you. Woo, woo, woo. He didn't get killed. See, if there was no mercy there, he would have killed them. And it goes back to what he told you, Exodus 33:19, for those who don't know. Read it to them. And it's bothered people. But it is what it is, man.
And he said, I will make all of my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim the name of Yahuah before you.
That's
I will
right.
be gracious to whom I will be gracious.
And I'll be merciful.
On whom I will show mercy.
That's the end of the conversation. He showed mercy to David because that's what he wanted to do. He showed mercy to Solomon. He said, I was going to show mercy to Solomon before the man even got on the throne. See, what people don't realize is with Saul, he cut Saul off because he took his mercy from him. Saul was being tormented by an evil spirit, man. He stopped answering Saul. That's why he went and hollered at the witch of Endor. You know what I'm talking about? So, and people make that statement, man, he covered that sin, bro. You know what I'm saying? He covered it. You ain't got to like it. You ain't got to agree with it. Take it up with him when you see him. That's all I can tell you. Where we finna go at?
Oh, no, we just read that.
I can't even remember, man. Oh, you're in 1 Corinthians 6. You're probably about verse 10 or 11. You just read that you'll be justified in the name of Yahuah. That's what I think, right?
Yeah, that was verse 11.
Come on.
And such were some of you, but you are washed, you are sanctified, but you are justified in the name of the Lord Yahuah by the Ruach of our Alahym.
Right.
All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Meats for the belly, and the belly for meats, but Alahym shall destroy both it and them. Now the body is not for fornication, but for the Lord. And the Lord
hold on, read that part again. Meats for the belly,
and the belly for meats, but Alahym shall destroy both it and them.
And he said they cursed about to go upon their belly because they earthly things. Ecclesiastes was like his expression and sorrowfulness of the things he done allude to him being forgiven in a sense. And that's a fair assessment. You know what I'm saying? So
he just asked if sanctified ain't justified. Yeah,
who's question?
Herman.
Oh, sanctified ain't justified. Nah, sanctified is being set apart. So it could be Kadash. This is the words you're going to see most of the time. Justified is a dot, which is going to be righteous 99.9% of the time.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's innocent, just or innocent.
So it's always going to depend on the context.
Surrender righteous.
When you see it. So that's when he say you've been set apart and now you've been made righteous by the name of Yahuah HaMashiach. You got to be sanctified first before you can be made righteous. You know what I'm saying?
Sanctified is separate from profane things and dedicated to Alahym.
Yeah, you dedicate yourself to God, and through that dedication, it's almost like we was reading 2 Chronicles 30. You go through the process of cleansing yourself, and then through that cleansing, you become justified. So the aspect, amen, the aspect of sanctification is the belief in the testimony of Yahushua, and then the Ruach HaKadosh is what justify you upon reception. Where we at with it? Psalms 84.
You go with the 1 Corinthians 6?
Yeah, that's it. That's all we wanted was meats for the belly, belly for the meat. Psalms 84 and 9. Shoot.
Behold, O Alahym, our shield, look upon the face of your anointed. For a day in your courts is better than 1,000.
I'd rather
be a doorkeeper in the house of my Alahym
than
to dwell in the tents of wickedness.
What else?
For Yahuah Alahym is a son and shield.
And Yahuah will do what?
Give grace and esteem.
No good
thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly.
Oh, Yahuah of hosts.
Baruch is the man that trusts.
Now notice he say, tell him what word grace is, man. He say he give grace and esteem.
It's kani, favor, grace, charm.
So he give favor
acceptance.
And charm and acceptance. You know what I'm saying? Now what verse we want, man? Psalms 45 and 4. We read something in Hebrews. I want to make verse 4 got what I want. It don't. There it is. It's verse 1, actually. Psalms 45 and 1.
My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king.
My tongue
is the pen of a ready writer.
You are fairer
than the children of men.
Grace
according to your lips.
Therefore,
Alahym have baruch you forever.
Tell them what grace means. Make sure it's the same word. Now we're gonna show you how.
Word.
Now we're gonna show you how the acceptance was poured in his lips, and we're gonna see how he gave grace and esteem. So number one, just to show you how he gave grace to the Son with acceptance and esteem. Just read in Matthew 17 and 5, man, for the acceptance part. Then you can read Hebrews 5 and 7 just on the house.
He said, while he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, the voice out of the cloud which said, this is my beloved Son,
and whom
I am well pleased. Hear you him.
Hear you him. That's acceptance. Let's read Hebrews 5 and 7 for acceptance one more time. And then we're going to just actually look at instances where grace is in Yahushua's lips when he speaks to people. This means this is favor or acceptance. I'm going to give you favor by definition. And then I'm going to want Sylvia to read Proverbs 31 and 30 after this, just because. Go ahead.
Say, whom the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with strong crying and tears unto him, that was able to save him from death, and was heard, and that he feared. Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered. And being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him.
Again, this is acceptance. Now, favor is generally means to provide support, approval, preference, or helpful act towards someone or something. It is used as a noun to mean an act of kindness or support, and as a verb to indicate preferring or treating someone with bias. Exodus 34. Oh, it's just as simple. It's just when he declares his name. Those are his attributes. So when he say he's merciful and gracious, that's his character. And he says he's long-suffering, that means he's slow to anger. That's his character. It means when he say he's abundant in goodness and truth, these are the things that he exhibits. When he say he showed mercy unto thousands and he forgives sin, iniquity, and transgression, he doesn't absolve the guilty. So he can forgive you, but you'll still be punished. You can read it again. We read it earlier. Exodus 34 and 6. But again, favor is act of kindness. So when you see grace, again, that means that there's kindness being shown. After you read this Exodus 34, man, and 6, man, give me Deuteronomy 32 and 1, man, and then Jeremiah 31 and 1.
And Yahuah passed by before him and proclaimed, Yahuah Alahym, merciful and gracious.
Pause. Just tell him what merciful and gracious mean again.
Merciful is Rakum, compassionate, always of Alahym with one possible exception, or merciful.
It means that he is compassionate.
And gracious is kanum, gracious.
Pause. So I'll give you English definitions of compassion, just in case. Gracious, just in case. When you are compassionate, you have a deep awareness of another person's suffering, combined with a sincere desire or action to alleviate it. Feeling sympathy, kindness, and understanding, or love in action. Synonyms are pity, mercy, empathy, commiseration, and benevolence. So when we sit back and you look at that and see, that take us back to Psalms 103, he pity you as a father pity his own child that serve him, and Yahuah knoweth your frame, but you are dust. You know what I'm talking about? So when you look at compassion, that means that he has a desire to alleviate suffering from you. That suffering is death. Since I said that, Hebrews 2:14. When we look at gracious by meaning, it is someone that is kind, courteous, and compassionate, showing charm and elegance, particularly from a position of authority. It refers to behaving with warmth and politeness, especially in social settings. So in this instance, this is again referring to compassion from someone who is in authority. That's why he says, should we sin because we under grace? God forbid. So this man is showing compassion and kindness to you because he has authority, and you're going to flaunt that in his face. My God, today. Come on, Sidney.
For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is the devil.
That is literally graciousness. You know what I'm saying? I mean, compassion, excuse me. You have some suffering, I'm going to alleviate it. Go ahead.
And deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. For truly he took not on him the nature of Malachim, but he took on him the seed of Abraham.
That's good. That's good. Now where we need to go at? Where we was at? Oh, we need to be looking for grace in his lips. So let's look at some kindness. The first thing I could think of.
Yes, for Deuteronomy 32.
Oh yeah, Deuteronomy 32:1, Jeremiah 31:1.
Give ear, O you Shamahim, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of Yahuah, ascribing greatness unto our Alahym.
Right.
He is the rock, his work is perfect.
Perfect.
For all his ways are judgment. Alahym of truth.
Truth.
And without iniquity. Just and right is he.
Now, again, we didn't read the Hebrew word long suffering. Long suffering means patient, slow to anger. Merciful is loving kindness. That's obvious. You know what I'm saying? And then he forgives, which is to pardon or to forgive. You know what I'm saying? Do me a favor before we read Jeremiah 31:1, man. Get me Nehemiah 9:23. That tuna salad you got over there? That salad of your tuna? In that pan right there. Come on, Nehemiah 9:23.
Their children also multiplied you as the stars of Shamaim, and brought them into the land, concerning which you had promised to their fathers that they should go in and possess it. So the children went in and possessed the land, and you subdued before them the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, and gave them into their hands with their kings and the people of the land, that they might do with them as they would. And they took strong cities and a fat land, and possessed houses full of all goods, wells, digged vineyards, and olive yards, and fruit trees in abundance. So they did eat and were filled and became fat. And delighted themselves in your great goodness. Nevertheless, they were disobedient and rebelled against you, and cast your law behind their backs, and slew the prophets which testified against them to turn them to you. And they wrought great provocations. Therefore you delivered them into the hand of their enemies, who vexed them. And in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto you, you heard them from Shamaim. According to your manifold mercies, you gave them saviors, who saved them out of the hand.
Out of your manifold what?
Mercies.
Tell them what manifold mercies is.
Manifold is rob, much, many, great, abounding. And in mercies is rakam, compassion.
Go ahead.
But after they had rest, they did evil against you. Therefore left you them in the hand of their enemies, so that they had the dominion over them. Yet when they returned and cried unto you, you heard them from Shamaim, and many times did you deliver them according to your mercies, and testified against them.
That's good. Hold on, you say many times you what?
Say testified against them.
No, you delivered them because of your what?
According to your mercies.
Many times Yasharal was delivered because of his mercies. You know what I'm saying? He showed compassion onto them. Just on the house. 2 Chronicles 36:15. Dwayne. Come here. Dwayne.
And Yahuah Alahym of their father sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. But they mocked the messengers of Alahym and despised his words and misused his prophets until the wrath of Yahuah rose against his people. Listen, there was no remedy.
No remedy.
Therefore he brought upon them the kings of the Chaldees, who slew their young men with the sword and the house of their sanctuary, and had no compassion upon young man or maiden, old man, or him that stooped for age. He gave them all into his hand.
Go ahead.
And all the vessels of the house of
That ain't the
Alahym.
verse, though. You got to go up some. I'll find it for you. The verse that we actually need is 15. You can read 14 though. 2 Chronicles 36 and 14, and then we'll go to Jeremiah 31 and 1.
Moreover, all the chief of the priests and the people transgressed very much after all the abominations of the heathen, and polluted the house of Yahuah, which he had hallowed in Jerusalem. And Yahuah Alahym of their father sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes sending, because he had compassion on his people.
He had compassion on his who?
On his people
and his
dwelling place.
So understand that he kept sending people with the word because he got compassion on these people. Give them compassion by definition.
What people would come all to spare, pity, to have compassion on.
I want to spare him. I got pity on you, which again is reporting to I have no pleasure in the death of him that died. So he sent people with the word to have pity on the people so they're not destroyed. But the people don't have pity for themselves. You know what I'm talking about? Jeremiah 31 and 1, man.
At the same time, saith Yahuah, will I be the Alahym of all the families of Yasharal.
All the families.
And they shall be my people. Thus saith Yahuah, the people which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness.
Found what in the wilderness?
Found grace in the wilderness.
Give them grace right now, man.
Same word from before. I need that's favor, grace, or charm, acceptance.
So what does that take you back? He had pity on the people in the wilderness, man. They were crying for manna, crying for flesh, murmuring, complaining, made a golden calf, and he still had pity on them. Go ahead.
He said, even Yasharal, when I went to cause him to rest, Yahuah have appeared of old unto me, saying, yea,
what'd he say?
I have loved you with an everlasting
love. I loved you with the what?
Everlasting love. Therefore, with loving kindness.
I have what?
Have I drawn you?
Tell him what drawn mean. They say, blessed is the man whom Yahuah calls to draw unto him. Yahuah gonna draw you with love.
That is mashak, to draw, to drag, to seize.
To seize or to draw or to listen, man. Yahuah ain't gonna draw you with being an Israelite. Yahuah ain't gonna draw you with no bloodline, no blood types, no names, no none of that. He ain't gonna draw you with your skin. He ain't gonna draw you with you knowing you an Israelite. He gonna draw you with love and kindness. You can tell him what that means by definition. Anything other than that is not God.
That's it said goodness, kindness, faithfulness.
That's what he gonna draw you with. And you can take that up with him. Read it again so they know that I ain't saying that. That's what the book says.
Yahuah have appeared of old unto me, saying,
what he said.
Yea, I have loved you with an everlasting love.
Therefore,
with loving kindness have I drawn you.
So with your blood, I'm gonna draw you.
Loving kindness.
With your flesh, I'm gonna draw you.
Loving kindness.
With your Israelite heritage, I'm gonna draw you.
Loving kindness.
That's what it is, then, man. That's what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Anything other than that, well, that's not Yahuah doing that. You know what I'm saying? You don't like being pitied. If I did, then I did it. I accept. No, but that's not the point of having pity. You don't want to see. We look at pity as a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? When the reality is, pity is having somebody having compassion on you. You know what I'm saying? See, we done got to the point in this particular society. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guarantee you, pity in English mean to have compassion on you. Yeah. That you look at the word pity in a negative fashion. And that's exactly what it means. The feeling of sympathy, sorrow, or compassion for someone else's misfortune or suffering. It implies a desire to help. But this is where it comes, but sometimes can convey a sense of superiority or condescension. It is also used to express regret or disappointment. And that's where it come in at, because if you hear pity and you think somebody gonna think they're better than you, or they're gonna be condescending to you. But the reality is, a synonym for pity is to have compassion on, to have sympathy for. So when Yahuah look at it, when you see pity, because they probably didn't have, outside of compassion, a better word in English to put there. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, he said, I got compassion on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm moved to want to help you. Matter of fact, since I said that, Hosea 11:1, man. And I'm trying to get you to understand, not you just individually, but everyone collectively, if we didn't understand it before. The love, mercy, and compassion that Yahuah operate. Let me make sure that's what I want, man. Yeah, go ahead. You can run that for me.
When Yasharal was a child, then I loved him.
He said when he was a child, I what?
I loved
now,
him.
You know this passage according to Matthew is referring to Yahushua, but listen.
As they called him, so they went from them. They sacrificed unto Balaam and burnt incense to graven images.
Listen what he finna say.
I taught Ephraim also to go, taking them by their arms, but they knew not that I healed them.
He said, I taught Ephraim also to what?
Said by their arms.
Taken by their what?
By their arms.
But they knew what?
Not that I healed them.
He said, but I drew them with the what?
With cords of a man.
Tell them what cords mean, man.
That is Kadel, a cord, rope, territory, band, or company. Or you got pain, sorrow, travail, or pain.
So I drew them with the pain of a man, with the bands of what?
The bands of love.
My God, today. What are bands?
That is abathal, cord, rope, cordage, foliage, interwoven foliage.
And you know that this man was bound. Listen what he said, man. I drew them with the pains of a man, with the bands of love. I was to them
as they that take off the yoke on their jaws, and I lay meat unto them.
That's good, man. Let me find the verse I want, man. It might be 4:13. Where is that? It might be in this chapter. I just might be tripping. Either way it go. I know what it says. He's saying, oh, Yasharal and me is your help, but you have destroyed yourself. Let me get you that exact location, man. But I want you to read that verse in Hosea 11 one more time.
He said, I drew them with cords of a man, with the bands of love, and I was to them as they that take off the yoke on their jaws, and I laid meat unto them.
And we don't really sit back and consider this Hosea 13. We don't even sit back and consider what this man just stated, man. He said, man, I drew you with the pain of a man, with the bands of love. On general principles, Civic, before you read, I'll keep Hosea 13, I'll read it. Read me Songs of Solomon 8 and 5, man. I'm going to pick this up at Hosea 13 and 1 when he get done. Yeah, now you know what I'm saying? Like looking at, understanding what pity is from a godly standpoint. Yeah, man, you would want him to be, you would want him to pity you. Because if he don't pity you, then he don't have compassion on you, which means he won't show any grace to you, which means no love and kindness would be extended to you, which means that we would be damned to hell. Because one thing you don't have to worry about Yahuah is because he's extending compassion, pity, love and kindness and mercy unto you, that he's going to be condescending and look down on you. That's what man may do, but that's not what Yahuah going to do. As David said, it's better to fall into the hands of Yahuah than to fall in the hands of man. Because you ain't got to worry about him doing you like that. Man may do you like that. God not going to do you like that. Yeah, he's not going to do you like that. Come on with it.
You said 5 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
Say, what is your beloved more than another beloved?
I said Songs of Solomon 8 and 5. Okay.
Who is this that come up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved? I raised you up under the apple tree. There your mother brought you forth. There she brought you forth that bare you. Set me as a seal upon your heart.
Set me as a what?
A seal upon your heart.
See, that's what that ruach is, man. Set that seal of love on your heart, man.
As a seal upon your arm. The love is strong as death.
Strong as death.
Jealousy is cruel as a grave. The coals thereof are coals of fire.
That man say love is strong as death, and greater love had no man than this, that a man lay his life down for his friends. And then we all have judged that if one dead, then we're all dead. He say love is strong as death. My God, today. Go ahead.
Many waters cannot quench love, neither can the floods
Many waters
drown.
can't what?
Quench love, neither can the floods drown it. If a man will give all the substance of his house for love,
it would be what?
utterly content.
Yahuah gave up everything he had for love, just like Adam gave up everything he had for love. Adam had compassion on his wife. That's why he died with her and gave up the garden and gave up his dominion and rule and everything he had for love, the same way that Yahuah did it. So when he tell you he gonna draw you with love and kindness, there's a framework in this from the beginning. Individuals don't want to hear that because, as I talked to y'all about the other day, niggas think having love is weak. When really love is the strongest thing that an individual can exhibit. Ain't no weakness in no love, man. Not no godly love. Yeah, it's weak emotional love because that ain't no love. You know what I'm saying? There's weakness in falling in love because that ain't no love. Effectively, as I told you the first time we talked about this in February, mental illness. If you're talking about emotional love and falling in love, so you have a mental illness. You know what I'm saying? Ma'am, you have a mental illness. You're a drug addict. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, meaning you're a dopamine addict, you're an oxytocin addict. You know what I'm saying? You're an addict for the chemical release in your brain that causes you to suspend reality, to live in a fantasy world for a moment of time. But we talking about godly love, man. Hey, if you want to be in love, that's your business. I personally don't care. All I'm trying to do is make a distinction between the love of God and everything else. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? It's not to make anybody feel bad. It's not to take shots at nobody or none of that. It's for us to make a distinction between the two. If you want to have emotional love and be in love and that suits you well, then shoot. Do you? You know what I'm saying? I just personally don't care. You know what I'm saying? But it would be much better for us as a collective if we would seek, desire, and exhibit godly love at all times. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because love never fails. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And there's that. And of course, he told you that's the get that from me, Sigrid. Colossians 3:17. Not 3:17. 3:10. Yeah, they ready to call it a day. Especially you little square head boy. Dwayne. Come on.
And have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him, where there is neither Greek nor Yahudim, circumcision or uncircumcision,
right,
barbarian, Scythian, bond or free, but Hamashiach is all and in all.
That's right.
Put on therefore as the elect of Alahym,
vows,
Kadash and beloved, bowels of mercy,
what else?
Kindness, humbleness of
Notice
mind.
the third thing he told you, man, that if you Kadash and what are you?
And beloved.
He said you need to put, what's the first thing he told you need to put on?
Bowels of mercy.
First, when he said to declare his name, Yahuah Alahym, first thing he said, he was merciful. So if you're going to be set apart and beloved to God, you need to put on bowels of mercy. First thing you need to put on. What's the next thing he said?
Kindness.
And then you need to have kindness. And what he said he was going to draw you with? Hold on. And what he said he was going to draw you with? Kindness. And he said that he give you, I came with the pain of a man. Huh? This man said, I drew them with the pain of a man and with the bands of love. And another place he said, man, what them wounds in your hand? He said, I got them in the house of love. Then he told you there's a love that sticks closer than a brother. That's why he said, I give you a new commandment that if you love one another, everybody will know that you my Taladim, that I taught you. You know what I'm saying? That I taught you, because this is what I taught you. And what else did he teach you? Yahuah Alahym, merciful, gracious. I'm sorry, I skipped. I'm not bad. He said, you know, love Yahuah your Alahym with all your heart, all your might, all your strength, and all your soul, and your neighbor as yourself. Okay, she pulling up on big boom. Go ahead. Go ahead, bud.
So put on therefore as the elect of Alahym, Kadash and beloved, vows of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind,
right,
meekness, long suffering,
right,
forbearing one another,
forgiving one another.
If any man have a quarrel against you, even as Hamashiach forgave you, so also do you.
Right.
And above all these things, put on love.
Put on what?
Of love.
And it's the bond of what?
Perfectness.
Bam. When you can learn to do what I just referenced from Leviticus 19 and Deuteronomy 6, you put that on, you have the bond of being complete. Tell them what bond of perfectness is right there, man. Now, and this is what you being instructed to do, and Yahuah telling you this is who he is and what he's about, ain't nothing weak about it. That's why mercy rejoices against judgment. That's why he showed himself merciful to those that are merciful. Because if you can have pity and compassion on someone as he had pity and compassion on you, then guess what he gonna do? Your name gonna be written in heaven. You surely will show yourself as a light in amongst a crooked and perverse generation.
Bond is decimals. That is that which binds together.
That's it. So, hey, so this is gonna bind you together to perfection.
You know, figuratively, it's a uniting principle.
This is what's gonna unite you. Perfectness, right there, man. After that, Zechariah 8 and 14.
That is teleotes, perfection, the state of the more intelligent, moral and spiritual perfection.
He said the state of the more and what?
Of the more intelligent.
He said, man, when you do this here, show you more intelligent. And what else he said?
Moral and spiritual perfection.
Moral and spiritual perfection, you complete. If you put on love, you'll be more intelligent and complete. You know what I'm saying? But notice that all the things that he said to put on before putting on love was literally the characteristics of Exodus 34. He literally tell you to put on God. You know what I'm saying? And God, read Psalms 103 and 13 again, man. I read it all the time whenever applicable because it needs to be heard and known. Go ahead.
Like as a father pity his children.
Like as a father pity his children.
So Yahuah pity them that fear him.
If you got reverence for Yahuah, he gonna have compassion on you just like you got compassion on your child. Since I said that, Isaiah 49, man. Verse 10. They ain't heard none. I really want 14, but it's all great.
They shall not hunger nor thirst, neither shall the heat nor sun smite them. For he that hath mercy on them shall lead them, even by the springs of water shall he guide them. And I'll make all my mountains a way, and my highways shall be exalted. Behold, these come from far, and lo, these from the north and from the west, and these from the land of Sinai.
That's a fact, Nate. Go ahead.
Sing, O Shamahim, and be joyful, O earth, and break forth into singing, O mountains. For Yahuah hath comforted his people, and will have mercy upon his afflicted.
He'll have mercy upon his who?
His afflicted.
What else?
Like Zion said, Yahuah hath forsaken me, and my Lord hath forgotten me.
Go ahead.
Can a woman forget her sucking child? That she should not have compassion on the son of her womb?
That's what he's talking about when he's saying he having pity on you. Same way you got pity, you're going to have compassion on your baby when they're hungry at them, man. Listen.
Say, behold, I have graven you upon the palms of my hands.
So when Yahushua said, hey, man, look at my hands. Since I referenced it, Civic, Zechariah 13 and 5, man.
But he shall say, I am no prophet, I am a husbandman, for man taught me to keep cattle from my youth.
Yep.
One shall say unto him, what are these wounds in your hands?
What are these wounds in your hands?
Those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends.
And friends, there is a ha, which is love. These are the wounds what are those wounds in your hand? Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay his life down for his friends. Psalms 103 and 13 again.
Like as a father pity his children, so Yahuah pity them that fear him.
Go ahead.
For he know our frame. He remembered that we are dust.
Dust.
As for man, his days are grass. As a flower of the field, so he flourished.
Come on.
For the wind passed over it, and it is gone. The place thereof shall know it no more.
Slow, Sister Gwen.
But the mercy of Yahuah is from everlasting to everlasting.
From generation
that fear him, and his righteousness unto children's children. To such as keep his covenant, and to those that remember his commandments to keep them.
Listen, man, that's what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? And again, you know, we sprinkling in New Testament passages, but you see the majority of things that we seeing as it pertains to his grace and mercy is all in the Old Testament. And I still want to pull a witness, one or two possibly, from each gospel about how grace was poured into his lips. Hosea 13 and 1. I got it though. When Ephraim spake trembling, he exalted himself in Yasharal. But when he offended in Baal, he died. Now, of course, it tells you in Ezekiel 12 to eat your bread with quaking and trembling. which is where you get that verse to, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Of course, Yahushua was exceedingly sorrowful unto death, and he praying for that cup to pass. So he spake trembling because he lifted himself up in Yasharal, because he is the Son of God. But because they offended in Baal, he died. And he said, now they sin more and more. They've made molten images in their silver and idols according to their own understanding. All of it the work of the craftsmen. They say of them, let the men that sacrifice kiss the calves. So, all of the work of the craftsmen, they say of them, let the men that sacrifice kiss the calf. Therefore they shall be as the morning cloud, as the early dew that pass away, as the chaff is driven with the whirlwind out of the floor and smoke out of the chimney. Yet I am Yahuah your Alahym from the land of Mizraim, and you shall know no Alahym but me, for no Savior besides me. I did know you in the wilderness in the land of great drought. Obviously, we just read that from Jeremiah 31. According to their pasture, so were they filled. They were filled, and their heart was exalted. Therefore, they have forgotten me. So according to all the stuff that each division of land, that each tribe got, well, they forgot that man. Remember, Deuteronomy 32 tell you, Yeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Therefore, I will be unto them as a lion, and a leopard by the way will I observe. I will meet them as a bear bereaved, and will rend the call of their heart, and there will I devour them like a lion. The wild beast should tear them. O Yasharal, you have destroyed yourself, but in me is your help. Tell them what help mean right now, man.
Azer, that is help. Secure.
That's
one who helps.
That's the word for help me in Genesis 2. That's why I say I'll send a comforter, or one who helps. You know what I'm talking about? But let's continue. I will be your king. Where? That they may save you in the cities, and your judges of whom you said, give me a king and prince, referring back to the time of Samuel. I give you a king in my anger. I took him away in my wrath. Listen, your iniquity of Ephraim is bound up. His sin is hid. That's a fact, man. Man being alone is not good. That's why he gave a helpmeet for you. And in this instance, it's the Ruach HaKodesh. You know what I'm talking about? Therefore, you'll never be alone, because Yahuah will always be with you. Praise God. The sorrows of a travailing woman shall come upon him. He is an unwise son, for he shall not stay long in the place of the breaking forth of children. So we've seen the sorrows of a travailing woman take on Yahushua, and he became an unwise son because he took on your sins. See if we get 2 Corinthians 3:3. I will ransom them from the power of the grave. I will redeem them from death. O death, I will be your plagues. O grave, I will be your destruction, and repentance shall be hid from my eyes. Now, I mentioned Zechariah 8. I'll get that while you over there where you at. Now, this goes back to what we were just reading in Colossians, right? This is Zechariah chapter 8 and verse 16. And this is a part of the aspect of putting on love as the bond of perfectness and adding those bowels of mercy. You know what I'm saying? And that long suffering. This is Zechariah chapter 8, verse 16. These are the things that you shall do. Speak you every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. Let none of them imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor. Love no false oath, for all these things I hate, saith Yahuah. Remember, he tell you in Ephesians, lie not one to another. These are all the things that he's talking about, because this is the evidence of his grace. I'm going to read you Zechariah 7 and 8. And the word of Yahuah came unto Zechariah, saying, thus speaketh Yahuah of hosts, execute true judgment, and show mercy and compassions every man to his brother. Hold on. Execute true judgment and show mercy and compassions every man to his brother. And oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor. Let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. Literally what you heard in Colossians. But they refused to hearken, pulled away the shoulder, stopped the ear, that they should not hear. Yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law and the words that Yahuah of hosts have sent in his Ruach by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from Yahuah of hosts. Therefore, it has come to pass that as he cried, they would not hear. So they cried, and I would not hear, saith Yahuah of hosts. And I only read that part because that's how people end up in hell. It's just like we read in 2 Chronicles 36, he having pity on his people, so he's sending people with the word so that don't happen to you, because he don't take no pleasure in your death. But you take pleasure in the things that are against God. Therefore, you don't like to retain him in your knowledge. Therefore, he give you over to a reprobate mind to do those things that are not convenient. My Lord. What I told you to go see?
2 Corinthians 3.
3 and 3. Listen to it.
For as much as you are manifestly declared to be the epistle of a Mashiach, ministered by us, written not with ink, but with Ruach of the living Alahym, not in tables of stone, but in fleshy tables of the heart.
Right.
And such trust have we through a Mashiach to Alahym word, not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves, but our sufficiency of Alahym.
That's right.
Who have made us able ministers
of the New Testament.
Not of the letter, but of the Ruach.
Because the Ruach,
for the letter
kill, and the Ruach do what?
Give life.
What else?
But its administration of death, written and engraven in stones, was esteemed.
How much
so
more?
That the children of Yahuah could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses. The esteem of his countenance, which esteem was to be done away.
Yeah.
How shall not the ministration of the Ruach be rather esteemed? For if the ministration of condemnation be esteemed, much more do the ministration of righteousness exceed in esteem.
You see how that works? One condemn, one give life. They both are honorable, but one exceeds. And what is that one that exceeds? The one that's based off of Yahuah. That one on Mount Sinai, he said that engendered the bondage. Why? Because you break that law, you got to die. One engenders to the promise, and more specifically, it's representative of who Yahuah is and his completeness. And we still got to talk about that mercy seat, because we ain't talked about that Kippareth like exclusively in a long time. Let Yahuah be esteemed.
You still want Proverbs 31 and 30?
I do. I'm glad you mentioned that. And the reason why I say that, man, by the grace of Yahuah, we've been at this for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people done came along the way, and we went over a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? By the grace of Yahushua, definitely not by any expertise in and of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean sometimes when you even say a long time, because, you know, we got to stir up our pure minds by way of remembrance, like Peter put it, because the Lord has allowed us to take a deep dive on a lot of things in this book, man, that we might gain understanding. I told y'all this before, right? Yahuah does not give understanding for the sake of giving understanding. When understanding is imparted, it's because he wants you to live. He said he's giving them an understanding that they might understand the scriptures. And then those who lack understanding are worthy of death. So if understanding is being given, it's because he wants you to live. Amen, man. You know what I'm saying? Praise Yahuah. Like, and we gotta sit back and pause on that, man. Like the stuff that we going, that's why, man, we're not going through this stuff, man. No, he told you, man, the son of Alahym is come, that we may know him that is true, and that we're in him that is true. Even his son, Yahushua HaMashiach. This is the true Alahym in eternal life. He said he's given us an understanding. It means he's given us insight into who he is, what he's about, why he's doing it, and how you can access it. See, the wisdom is the skill to know how to move. The knowledge is the foundation to be able to have the wisdom to get the understanding to live. That man don't toss understanding out like just free pieces of Halloween candy, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's a blessed thing. As Emma Stephanie was talking about the other night, like with the gifts in Corinthians. You know what I'm saying? Like, my nigga, understanding is a gift of the Spirit in and of itself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm only referencing this right now. Y'all willing? Amen, Mika. Y'all willing? I'll get to it in a timely fashion. But, you know, we look at the people, and I mentioned it Wednesday night when we talk about this here. When the gifts of the Spirit get referenced, the only thing that people want to talk about is outward things. Or I'm speaking in tongues. I can do this and I can do that. And those things are great. But again, as we discussed, those things are for people who don't believe. We haven't even cultivated a mind as a collective of servants and believers of the Almighty Alahym, Yahuah of hosts, that you want to have gifts that actually benefit other believers. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that we want to be concerned with is how to exhibit something to people who not even on your type of time. And there's a time and a place for that. Read me 1 Corinthians 12, right? About 20, 29. Signs and wonders. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know. Go ahead. Just 1 Corinthians 12 and 29.
Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles? Have all the gifts of healing?
See, that ain't what I want, but keep on going.
Do all speak with tongues? Do all interpret?
Go ahead.
But covet earnestly the best gifts.
The best gifts.
And yet show I unto you a more excellent way.
He said you should covet the best gifts. Lead right into verse 1 of the 13th chapter of this epistle.
Though I speak with the tongues of men and of Alahym and have not love, I am become as
so he's listen, man. That man say I can speak in them tongues, but if the love of God isn't present, it's worthless. Go ahead.
Or as a tinkling cymbal, and though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I can remove mountains and have not love, I am nothing.
It's worthless. Go ahead.
And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not love, it profits.
See, somebody will say, how could you give your body to be burned and give all your goods to the poor and you ain't got love? Because some people esteem in appearance and not in heart. You can do all that and don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? People do it all the time. Go ahead, man.
Love suffer long.
That's good. We got to go no further. We don't even sit back and look at that's a gift from God just to have that. You know what I'm saying? So y'all willing when we get to that, and we've talked about it plenty of times before, you know what I'm saying? It's just to cause us to reassess how we look at the things that we determine as gifts. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the biggest gift that we can have, of course, we've talked about it when reading Romans 12 and a few other locations, is the ability to add value to those who are inside the house. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't realize something. Every bit of mercy you've shown, especially if you show it to somebody who believes, or even more so like how the Lord put, let me find that. Hold on. Let me get that for you. Hold on, Stephen. Come over here to Matthew. You can read Proverbs 31 and 34. I find what I want. Go ahead and read that.
Say, favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that fear Yahuah, she shall be praised.
Now I read that there because he told you favor of man is deceitful. That's what I came there for. The favor of Yahuah give life. That's what I'm saying? And you got to pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? Because when you reference Yahuah, you'll get the praise. You'll get the esteem. Now come over to Matthew 10, man.
That's the same word for grace. So got that acceptance.
The acceptance. You know what I'm saying? And that can deceive you when it comes from people of the flesh, you did. But listen to this Matthew 10, man, verse 40. You know what? I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to touch that. Matthew 10 and 40.
He that received you, received me.
Right.
He that received me, received him that sent me.
He that received
a prophet in the name of a prophet
shall receive
a prophet's reward.
He that received
a righteous man in the name of a righteous
shall
man,
receive
a righteous man's reward.
And whoso shall ever
give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water, only in the name of a disciple, truly I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward.
Now listen, tell him what receive means. Now I'm mentioning this here, man. He said, if you receive him, you receive the Father. He said, but if you receive a prophet in the name of a prophet, what a prophet get, you'll get. And if you receive a righteous man in the name of a righteous man, you'll get what he get. But if to these young ones, you just give them a cup of water in the name of a student, you got a full reward coming. Come on, man.
That is to take with the hand, to take hold of, to take up, to receive.
To receive, to take up, to lay hold on to. Zechariah 8:23 on the high. Because listen, if we wanted to pause and look at receiving Yahushua in the name of a prophet and receiving that righteous man in the name of a righteous man and giving cold water to him, man, look here. Man, praise you. Go ahead.
Thus saith Yahuah of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Yahudim, saying, we will go with you.
For we heard
that Alahym is with you.
We heard that grace of God with you, man. No. You good. You know what I'm saying? No, I mean you never know. So somebody could have had the same thought process, but it's really just to make it plain. You know what I mean? Come on and get me read Psalms 45 and 2 again so they know why we finna read this loop.
You are fairer than the children of men. Grace is poured into your lips.
Now let's look at Yahushua having grace poured in his lips, man. Let's come over here to Luke 19, man. 19 and 1. After that, Luke 13 and 10.
And Yahushua entered and passed through Jericho, and behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, which was the chief among the publicans, and he was rich. And he sought to see Yahushua, who was, and could not for the press, because he was little of stature.
And he ran
before and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way.
And when Yahushua
came to the place, he looked up and saw him and said unto him,
Zacchaeus,
make haste and come down.
For today
I must abide at your house.
And he made
haste and came down
and received him
joyfully.
And when they saw,
they all murmured, saying that he was gone to be guest with a man that is a sinner.
My Lord, and Zacchaeus
stood and said unto the Lord,
behold,
Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor.
And I've taken
anything from any man by false accusation,
I restore
fourfold.
Yahushua said unto him,
this day is salvation come to this house,
for as much
as he also is a son of Abraham.
For the son of Adam
is come to seek and to save that which was lost.
This is an example of grace being poured in his lips. Luke 13 and 10. And say, I always think of Ruth and Naomi as well. And that's a fact. That's a fact. Luke 13 and 10.
And he was teaching in one of the synagogues on the Shabbat, and behold, there was a woman which had a ruach of infirmity 18 years, and was bowed together, and could in no wise lift up herself. And when Yahushua saw her, he called her to him and said unto her, woman, you are loose from your infirmity. And
grace poured in his lips. Come on, man.
He laid his hands on her, and immediately she was made straight.
That's right.
Alahym.
That's right.
And the ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation.
What he said?
Because the Yahushua healed on the Shabbat day.
Oh, this busted.
There are 6 days in which men ought to work, and then therefore come and be healed, and not on the Shabbat day. The Lord then answered him and said, you hypocrite, do not each one of you on the Shabbat lose his ox or his ass from the stall and lead them away to watering?
Oh,
not this woman, being a daughter of Abraham, Hashatana bound
these
18 years,
be loosed
from this bond on the Shabbat day.
And when he said these things,
all his adversaries were ashamed, and all the people rejoiced for all the esteemed things that were done by him.
Look at that grace poured into his lips. Let's go somewhere else and look at some. Go to Mark 3 and 1. Let's look at some grace being poured in his lips. And I probably won't Mark 9, maybe Mark 8. Luke 3 and 1. Come on, Sibo.
And he entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man there which had a withered hand, and they watched him whether he would heal him on the Shabbat day, that they might accuse him. And he said unto the man which had the withered hand, stand forth. And he said unto them, is it lawful to do good on the Shabbat day, or to do evil, to save life, or to kill? But they held their shalom. When he had looked around about on them with anger, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts.
Now, there's certain sermons where, lessons he spit where he's talking about grace in his lips that I could choose. But I'm kind of choosing ones where he's speaking directly to people. Go ahead.
He said unto the man, stretch forth your hand, and he stretched it out, and his hand was restored whole as the other. The Pharisees went forth and straightway took counsel with the Herodians against him, saying, oh, my Lord. Or against him, how they might destroy him. But Yahushua withdrew himself with his disciples to the sea.
That's good. You see how it was grace poured in his lips then. Them people ain't want to hear that. These people don't be wanting to hear that. You hear me? And that junk be sad for real. Because the reality of the situation is this. When you go to talking about this particular foray that we on right now, and like I said, when I was talking to Jonathan about it, or whatever verse I was referring to, which even sparked in my brain to do it, along with, you know what I'm saying, the eagerness of the participation in the book that we're writing about this very same thing. You know what I'm saying? That, at this particular juncture in time, especially with it's literal cold water. He said, hey, man, if you give a cup of cold water in the name of a disciple to one of his little ones, man, you'll no wise lose your reward, which is effectively receiving individuals who come in his name. And even more so, if mercy is showed upon them, And it's the same as if it's mercy showed to somebody who's of the household of God, whether they preaching or not. You know what I'm saying? Taking it back to what he said in Matthew 25, when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was in jail, you visited me. When I was sick, you nursed me. And when you've done it to one of these, the least of these, my brethren, you've done it unto me. Matter of fact, give me Micah 6:6. You know what I'm saying? Because actually showing mercy and compassion to each other is an overarching theme throughout the entirety of this book before you even get to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You know what I'm saying? And that's really why I wanted to go. And it was also sparked from talking about, the conversation I was having with my daughter, Shael, man, about that. The grace of God is not changed. It's the same. You know what I'm saying? It was just manifested in flesh in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John for your eyes to behold. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead.
Wherewith shall I come before Yahuah and bow myself before the high Alahym? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves of a year old? Will Yahuah be pleased with thousands of rams?
See, now you say, will he be pleased with what?
Thousands of rams.
That man don't care about that. Listen.
Or 10,000s of rivers of oil.
But what else?
I give my firstborn for my transgression?
Should I give my firstborn for my transgression?
The fruit of my body for the sin of my soul?
What has Yahuah required
He
of
has
you?
showed you, O man, what is good, and what do Yahuah require of you?
What he requires?
But to do justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your Alahym.
He wants you to love what?
To love mercy.
He wants you to love what?
Mercy.
He wants you to love what?
Mercy and to walk humbly with your Alahym.
Man, go ahead and tell him what is it? Ahab Kased? Or is it Ahab something else? Which one is it?
Ahab Kased.
Ahab Kased. Love, loving kindness. You know what I'm talking about? Read that part again, man. What does he require of you?
But to do justly.
He wants you to do righteously.
And to love mercy.
To love loving kindness.
And to walk humbly with your Alahym.
And to walk humbly with your God. That's what he requires of you. That's what he requires of you. And for all intents and purposes, you know what he just told you? What are the weightier matters of the law? What's happening, Rohan? Judgment, mercy, and faith. Just that simple. This is what he required. All this extra stuff nigga be on, man, this, that, and the third, man. Man, that man don't care about none of that, bro. The man just told you what he required. Love, loving kindness, do righteously, walk humbly. How you gonna fail, blood? It's the same way when Yahushua said, what are the two greatest, when they asked him, what are the two greatest commandments? And he told them Deuteronomy 6:4 and Leviticus 19:17. Love your neighbor with all your heart. Love Yahuah with all your heart, all your might, all your strength, all your soul, and your neighbor as yourself. How you gonna fail, blood? And they steady talking about how you gonna, facts, Rohan, people do make this hard. Like, how you gonna sin if you doing that? If you doing justly and you love loving kindness and you walk humbly and you love God with all your heart and you love your neighbor as you love yourself, how are you going to sin, blood? There would be no room for it. And you know why? Because what is the component of the things that you just heard? That love would be, you would be filled with love. So how would there be room for hatred? Because the sin is to hate God. So where would there be room for the hatred? It wouldn't be no room. But the thing is, as we were talking about the other day, man, it's what in a man's heart that defile him. You got to remove the things that are not congruent with love so love can exist. And that's why love doesn't exist in many people, because you're harboring many things, so there's no room for love to make room. Because love take up space like light do darkness. You understand what I'm telling you? When you cut a light on in a room, man, darkness flees. Because light's going to consume whatever space it's in. And when there's the essence of love, there's no room for anything else. So the reason why love can't exist in a lot of us, man, is because that resentment and that wickedness and that blasphemy and the idols and that pain and that hurt and the failure and the disappointment and all these other things is existed in there, and love can't live there. Because love can't live amongst those things. You know what I'm saying? See, all those negative things I mentioned, they can live with whatever, but the only thing they can't live with is love, because love will consume all of those things. And how we know that? Because the love of Alahym consumed all those things when his son got hung on that tree. It consumed all of that. Now, of course, we're human beings. You have emotions and things of that nature. So, you're going to have, that's why he say forbear one another, right? That's what we read, right? Mm-hmm. Put on bowels and mercies, forgiving one another. That's why he said all that, so that you could put on love, so you could be bound and united together in completeness and wholeness and higher intelligence and perfection. You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing that we focus on, man, unfortunately, and I don't necessarily think that everybody's necessarily like this per se. I think this is just a socialization of this God-forsaken society and culture that we presently find ourselves residing in. Is the aspect of we like to focus on negativity. We like to focus on all the things that are opposite of love and fixate upon them. And I think the reason being is because since they sell a romantic love, a neurochemical release love that is contrary to godly love, you dig? It doesn't allow you the opportunity to focus on love that comes from above, love that is pure. So since you can't focus on that and you focus on a fantasy love that doesn't exist, you know what I'm saying? And, tangibly, I should say, you know what I'm saying? You fixate on the negative. So love never has room to enter in and dwell. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing that we can do is be the individuals in your family to reverse that course. So that's not something that your children have to unlearn, if you would. You know what I'm saying? Simply because you've been in the word for the majority of their entire life, if not all of it. So that's an aspect of love that they can be able to get. Like, okay, I don't have to unlearn this, that, there, and the third. I can allow space for it. Just got to allow space for it. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, you got to allow space for it to love yourself. Just like we were talking about this. I heard somebody say this the other day, which is a fact, and I've told y'all this before. Leviticus 19 say to love your neighbors, you what? Love yourself. Well, you can't love nobody if you don't love yourself. Which is another reason why a lot of people are not able to exhibit godly love, because they don't even love themselves. So it's not going to be possible. Because when you have a poor self-image of yourself, how you going to be able to have love for somebody else? You know what I'm talking about? See, honestly, when I think of Maya Angelou's quote, when people show you who they are, believe that that can look in the positive aspect. Oh, absolutely it do. Yeah, it go either side of the ledger. Equal weight, equal measures. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we was talking about the things we were talking about Wednesday, man, about the stuff that you're dealing with to let the word come through. But you got to learn to love yourself, man. Because see, you won't let the love of Yahuah come in and dwell with you if you don't love yourself. Because you'll constantly and consistently tell you, why would he love me? Because you don't even love yourself, so you don't think nobody will love you. That's why a lot of people self-sabotage in those type of situations. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something to look at, man. It's always good to be in an environment where people that's a fact. Sometimes we are our own accuser, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have a negative self-view of yourself, where you speak negatively to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that, you got to learn to stop doing. Because if you see yourself in a negative light, there's no way that anybody going to see you in a positive one. Because you don't see yourself that way. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to radiate that when you out and about and interacting with people. You know what I'm saying? But being around people because people get, like I say, because people looking for a feeling. You know what I'm saying? But love in and of itself, man, it's a good thing when you're in that environment where that people care about your well-being. Because a lot of people don't give a damn about nobody. You know what I'm saying? And that's unfortunate. But nevertheless, we need something else tomorrow. Did I read something? No, we didn't get to it more, man. Hold on, man.
I think yes, Mark. No, we end up on a mic of 6.
No, I don't know if I want more 9, man. This is what I want you to do, man. Come over here tomorrow at 5, you dig? Dang, this chapter long, though. Let's Screw it. Mark 5:1.
And they came over unto the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gadarenes. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains, because he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces, neither could any man tame him.
Right.
And always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs crying and cutting himself with stones.
And when he saw
Yahuah far off, he ran and worshipped him
and cried
with a loud voice,
"What have I to do with you,
Yahuah, you son of the Most High Alahym?
I adjure you
by Alahym
that you what?
Torment me not.
For he said
unto him,
come out
of the man
unclean
spirit.
He said,
what is your name? And he answered, saying, my name is Legion.
For we are
many.
There's a lot of niggas walking around, got a lot of unclean spirits in there, man. Something wrong with that nigga. You understand? But all jokes aside, this goes to what the gentleman was asking about last night. Like, Satan know who this man was. If a legion of unclean spirits knew who he was, you better believe Satan know who he is. I mean, matter of fact, because Satan said, if you be the son of God, so Satan knew who he was. You know what I'm talking about? Let's not get that twisted. Go ahead.
And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. Now there was there near unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding, and all the devils besought him, saying, send us into the swine, that we may enter into them.
To the swine!
And forthwith Yahuah gave them leave, and the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. They were about 2,000 and were choked in the sea.
And they
that fed the swine fled
and told,
and in the city and in the country,
and they went out
to see what it was,
and they came to Yahuah
and seen him that he was possessed of the devil, and had the legion sitting and clothed and in his right mind, and they were afraid.
And they notice it said in his right mind. And again, I've always told you this because, and I only go this based off the text. That man had an unclean spirit in a man. That thing was causing him to hurt himself. Unclean spirits don't cause you to sin. Unclean spirits ain't gonna cause you to hurt nobody. Unclean spirits torment you. When you see that when Saul had one, it was tormenting him. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't causing him to go sin. It wasn't causing him to want to do nothing to nobody. It was tormenting him. Common misconception. You ain't finna be like on the exorcist, and you want to do something to somebody, man. You're going to be sitting in there, you're going to be harming yourself, or you're going to be tormented. Because look at what the unclean spirit asked. Please don't torment me before the time. Because I know who you are, which means I know the power that you got, which means that the devil and his angels have known for a long season they going to hell. Come on, man.
And they that saw it told them how it befell to him that was possessed of the devil, and also concerning the swine. And they began to pray him to depart out of
the They said, get up out of here, we scared.
And when he was coming to the ship, he that had been possessed with the devil prayed him that he might be with him.
Howbeit,
Yahuah suffered him not, but said unto him,
go
home to your friends,
tell him
how great things the Lord had done for you,
and how he had what?
Compassion on you.
And he departed.
And began to publish in Decapolis how great things Yahuah had done for him, and all men did marvel.
So grace poured into his lips. You know what I'm saying? But let's come over here to John. We about to get ready to wrap this up, man. I was going to go John 12, John 11 first, but let's go John 9, though. 9 and 1.
And as Yahuah passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?
Hold on. He said, would you classify Satan entering Judas? Good question you might ask, good sir. Read John 13 and 1. Indeed. Amen, brother. Listen.
Now, before the feast of the Passover, when Yahuah knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto his Abba, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end.
Listen.
And supper being ended, the devil having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him.
So here's my question for you, brother Nate. Now that mentions devil, you know what Satan means. So how would you look at Judas in this scenario in order for Satan to enter into his heart? How would you judge that scenario to say, okay, this is why Judas, he's able to enter into Judas? Enter in is crazy. Now I'm going to read verse 2 again for everybody. It says, supper ended, the devil having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. Do me a favor, Civic, give him betrayal by definition. Then I'm going to read you verse 21, same chapter.
Enemy, that is to give into the hands of another, to give over into one's power or use, to deliver to one something to keep, use, take care of, or to manage.
Indeed.
To deliver up one in custody, to be judged, condemned, punished, scourged, tormented, or put to death.
Now it says, when Yahushua had thus was troubled in Ruach and testified, truly, one of you shall betray me. The disciples looked on one another, doubting of whom he spake. Now there was leaning on Yahushua's bosom one of his disciples, whom Yahushua loved. Simon Peter therefore beckoned to him that he should ask him who it should be whom he spake. He then, lying on Yahushua's breast, said unto him, Lord, who is it? Yahushua answered, he it is to whom I shall give sop when I have dipped. And when he dipped the sop, he gave to Judas Iscariot of Simon. And after the sop, Hashatan entered into him. Then said Yahushua unto him, that you do quickly. So what we get from this reprobate, that's fair. That's fair. But in this instance, Judas is already an adversary. He's already an enemy and an opponent. So the devil being able to put it into his inward mind to betray him. And how did he seek to betray him? To get paid. Why? Because he's a thief. That's because he cared about money. Greed is his motivation. You know what I'm talking about? So since greed is his motivation, you know what I'm talking about? When Satan into him, he's going to be an adversary. Now, Sister Regina mentioned because he never believed, and it was written of him to go this way. But also he already has character. One thing about it, when you see people who are written to go in a particular way, like it was mentioned earlier, you know, all things are written by Yahuah, made by Yahuah, even the wicked for the day of evil. These people be made like this. You know, they already like this. This ain't an individual who's just getting flipped over to be contrary to the heart and spirit that they already possess. This person's already like this. Remember, it said he didn't care about it. He was a thief. When you deal with somebody who's a thief, they motivated by their own selfish motivation and gain. I sell my homeboy out for 30 shekels. You know what I'm saying? I sell him right on out. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Amen. That's a fact. So when you look at it in that capacity, you can see. That's why when he gave him that's why the Lord said, what you do, go do quickly. Because he already know what's written of him. You know what I'm saying? So he already know what's got to go down. See, once it was all over, then Judas realized what he done. Now he want to repent. They like, oh, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's too late, man. See that to you. That's a personal problem for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's the aspect of, because you knew what you was doing when you did it. Satan just did his job, which is, you an adversary, I'm going to go ahead and help you finish that out. Because what was you worried about? How you could come up, which is part of the reason why those that are bishops and those that preach the word can't be greedy for filthy lucre, which is unrighteous gain. That was unrighteous gain that Judas got, because that was the money of blood, innocent blood at that. So while we talk about that, man, greed is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? That's why he say, you know, the love of money is the root of all evil. You seen what happened. Judas had it. It was his love of money that got him in trouble. Your love for currency, just to be able to buy stuff, just to be able to say you have it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how it be though, blood. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like that. You feel me? So we always have to be cognizant of that, man. You know what I'm saying? Which is why Paul said, hey, man of God, flee from these things and follow after this. That's why he told you to take no thought for your life. You know what I'm saying? He already know what you have need of before you ask. You know what I'm saying? Because you could get carried away that quickly, man. And that's why he say, hey, the cares and affairs of this life and the deceitfulness of riches choke off the word, you can't bring forth no fruit. And I get it, because you need it to live, because, you know, Ecclesiastes tell you money answer all things. You know what I'm talking about? Any problem you got when it comes to certain things, boy, a little bit of money answer all of it. You know what I'm talking about? We all know that. Nevertheless, you have to keep things in its proper perspective, man. Just like he tell you in Proverbs, man, give me food convenient for me. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody want to, you want to not be concerned with certain things. You want to be able to ball and do this, that, and the third. When I say ball, I ain't talking about nigga balling. You know what I'm saying? Me and, living a particular lifestyle, luxurious lifestyle, because that's what everybody wants. Everybody want a lifestyle that the mass majority of the human population through the entirety of time haven't lived. You know what I'm saying? It's only in these last 10 to 15 years that everybody is purporting and perpetuating about living a lifestyle that only 1 to 2% of the world's population has ever lived. And all for the outside validation and justification of other people. Just like I seen a brother say this the other day, man, you're seeing it a lot more with black people, the increase in classism. You know what I'm saying? Which, of course, is the individual looking down on a lower socioeconomic class than himself with disdain and disgust. Meanwhile, the classes of the ruling class that are in higher socioeconomic stratospheres than you find you with utter disdain and disgust. And you got this for the people who look like you. You know what I'm saying? Because we walk around here and feel like I'm better than you because the car I drive. Nigga, you don't even own the manufacturing plant that made that hoe. You know what I'm saying? Because where you live at. And then what ends up happening with it, unfortunately, is that's when the disconnect comes with our people from our people who at the bottom. And then you start to look at them with disdain and disgust. You know what I'm saying? And God forbid, man, no matter if I was to get $10 million tomorrow, I would never want to be disconnected from the people at the bottom. And since I said that, say the Hebrews 11 and 23. Just because, you know what I'm saying? I've been amongst them. I lived with them, hustled with them, did time with them. You know what I'm saying? Went to school with them. Why would I want to be disconnected from that?
By faith, when Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Alahym than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the approach of a Mashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, where he had respect as to the recompense of the reward. By faith, he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king.
That's right.
For he endured as seeing him who was invisible. Through faith, he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them.
Man, that man said he'd rather suffer with the children of God than enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. That's why most of your people going to turn on you if we alive in that day when things hit the fan. You did. That's why that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because they'd rather enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season than to suffer with you. Yahushua turned down everything Satan offered and then to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season so he could suffer with you. A lot of us don't have that mindset because some of us don't come from that. Some of us come from that and you elevated from that and you don't want to go back to that. But that's when, of course, when you remember what Solomon told you, all these things are vanity and vexation of spirit. And it's better to make yourself poor that you might be made rich than to have great riches and yet have nothing. You know what I'm saying? And we have to weigh and consider. That ain't telling you to have no desire to elevate your life or be no poor bum. If that's what you take from that, that's because that's what you want to be anyway. You know what I'm talking about? And what we talking about, man, is having a proper understanding. You did? You say when the people you with hit the fan alive, when they hit the fan, hey, man, listen, man, I'm trying to tell you, man. Read that verse again, Civic. That he rather suffer with the children of God, man.
Say, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Alahym than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
That's how a lot of people going to take that mark, man. You did. A lot of people going to take that mark, man, for that exact reason. Because you ain't going to want to suffer affliction with the children of God. You ain't going to want to be humbled with them. You would rather enjoy that pleasurable time for that short period of time. You know what I'm saying? And I always tell you, man, just relating it to conjugals, man, That pleasure ain't but a short period of time, bro. It's a short period of time. It's a short period of time. The majority of your life is not spent participating in that activity. And a lot of people, they can't even suffer in their flesh to cease from that. So you think they gonna come suffer with you? Oh no, they finna enjoy them pleasures of sin, boy. You know what I'm talking about? Come on with that Mark 9. We get these people out of here, man.
Who is in John 9?
That's what I meant to say. John 9:1.
And as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents?
Yahushua
answered, neither had this man sinned
nor
his parents.
The works
of Alahym should be made manifest.
I must work.
The works of him that sent
while it is
day,
the night
come
when
no man can work.
As long as I'm in the
world,
I am
the light of the world.
When he's thus
spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle, and he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay. And he said unto him, Go wash in the pool of Siloam.
Which is by interpretation.
Sent.
He went
his way therefore.
And what?
Washed.
And he came what?
Seen.
The neighbors.
Therefore, and they which before had seen that he was blind said, Is not this he that sat?
Some said,
This is he. Others said,
He is like him.
But he said, I am he.
Therefore said unto him,
How were your eyes open?
And he answered
and said, A man that is called Yahushua made clay and anointed my eyes, and said unto me, Go to the pool of Siloam and wash. And I went and washed, and I received sight.
And they said unto him,
Where is he? He said, I know not.
Now we'll need the rest of that where they go questioning him. Verse 35.
Yahushua heard that they cast him out, and when he had found him, he said unto him,
Do you
believe on the son of Alahym? He answered and said, Who is he, Lord, that I might believe on him? Yahushua said unto him, You have both seen him, and it is he that talked with you.
And he said,
Lord, I believe, and he worshipped him.
That's good, man. That's good, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we can read the rest, but then I'm going to start talking about something else, so I won't do that. But grace poured into his lips. John 11, verse 1.
Now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom you love is sick. When Yahushua heard that, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the esteem of Alahym, that the son of Alahym might be esteemed thereby.
Now
Yahushua loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. When he had heard, therefore, that he was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Then after that, he said to his disciples, Let us go into Judea again.
Verse 11.
These things said he, and after that he said unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleep, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep.
Right.
Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit Yahushua spake of his death, but they thought that he had spoken of taking rest and sleep.
Then said,
Yahushua answered them plainly, Lazarus is dead.
And I'm glad
for your sakes that I was not there, to the intent you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him.
Then
said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, Let us also go that we may die with him.
That's good, man. Verse 23. You can make it, man. You can read 7. You just read 17. Ain't gonna hurt nothing.
Then when Yahushua came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already.
Now Bethany
was near unto Jerusalem, about 15.
I mentioned this here because the brother mentioned this last night. This is why we're looking at this one, because it fit the mold, and he mentioned it last night.
15 furlongs off, and many of the Yahudim came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother.
Then
Martha, as soon as he had heard that Yahushua was coming, went and met him, but Mary sat still in the house. Then said Martha unto him, Yahushua, Lord, if you had been here, my brother had not died.
But I know
that even now, whatsoever you will ask of Alahym will give it you.
Yahushua said unto her,
Your brother shall rise again.
Martha said unto him,
I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day.
Yahushua said unto her,
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believe in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
Whosoever
live and believe in me shall never die. Believe you this.
Grace poured in his lips. She said unto him,
Yea, Lord, I believe that you are Mashiach, the son of Alahym, which should come into the world.
Let me pause for a second, right? Because this is in my brain. Because a lot of people like to pick at the Lord, talking about, oh, he always hung out with men and this, that, there, and the third. But they don't realize, and this goes back to the element when we were talking about the difference between similarities, I should say, between the pimp and the preacher. Yahushua had a lot of women down with him. You know what I'm saying? You can read in Luke 8 where it talk about women who served him of the substance of their house. And the reason why these women were able to have the love and care, obviously because he's a son of God, but he wasn't trying to match them women either. You know what I'm saying? Because I've told you this before, and you can kind of see that with Alicia. You know, it don't get focused on a lot. But, you know, based on, you know what I'm saying, the nature of women sometimes, man, they are much more inclined, you know what I'm saying, to want to be of service to individuals of the Lord's cloth, if you would. You know what I'm saying? Now, unfortunately, in this particular society, some be enamored with this man in a, you know, for lack of a better term, a romantic way. And niggas like to use that to their advantage because they're horn dogs. You know what I'm saying? Versus having the actual ability to have love for your people, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why when like Yasha shared this a week or so ago, which I'd have been seeing when LL said this, like, just because you see a woman don't mean you got to have her. You know what I'm saying? And I think the Lord, that's a lesson I learned early in life. A lot of men don't never learn that lesson, man. Just because you see a woman, bro, and you find her attractive don't mean that you need to try to have sex with her, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or just because you see a woman has some type of attraction towards you don't mean that you need to pursue a sexual encounter with this woman. A lot of gentlemen don't know you throwing off your masculinity in this instance, man, as somebody who could be rolling with whatever you got going on because you thinking with your loins. Now, I get it if you think with your loins and when you 18 and when you're 20 and when you're 21. But my man, that's got to cease at some point in your life, especially when that clock turns to 30. You know what I'm saying? Now that's of course, this is not counting if you in the word, you know what I'm saying? Because it should stop as you are taught by Mashiach. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. That's a lesson that a lot of individuals never learn. Because listen, Martha and Mary rock with this man. You know what I'm saying? Among many others, Susanna. You know what I'm saying? Let me read the verse, y'all. Stay with you guys. Because I might have said the lady name wrong. That's why I need to go to Luke 8 to make sure I didn't call the wrong name. You know what I'm talking about? And you can also see that with Paul. You know what I'm saying? With the multitude of ladies who assisted him in what he had going on. I did not. This is Luke 8:1. And it came to pass afterwards that he went through every city and village preaching and showing the glad tidings of the merciful for Alahym. Well, you know, David Saul wanted to kill David anyway. I think it said, matter of fact, when he stopped playing it, you know what I'm saying? You know, Saul already had that in him. He was already, you know, what he said. You know what he said, man. He brought him in by the tens of thousands. You know what I'm saying? My mama say that's a breath of fresh air to just speak with a woman without ill intent or lust in the mind. You know what I'm saying? It is. And it's even more fresh air if you know that woman like you and you won't act on that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when you know you got pure, unadulterated control of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Some men will never achieve to that level of mastery. Other Malkufa Alahym and the 12 were with him. And certain women which had been healed of evil ruachs and infirmities, Mary called Magdalene, out of whom went 7 devils, and Joanna, the wife of Cusa, Herod steward, and Susanna, and many others, which ministered unto him of their substance. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, a lot of dudes, or if a woman assists them in that fashion, they're going to try to hit them. You know what I'm saying? Try to use that against you. And really, these women say, man, we're going to help this man out. This is the son of God. What you talking about? He's out here doing X, Y, Z. We got him. Same way that, you know, the Shumanite woman did it, and so on and so forth. But, you know, nevertheless, because the reason why I say that is because when, especially in this particular time frame, because I just seen a video talking about a first lady like it, and again, it's because it's a different world we live in. Because a lot of these women be angling and try to sleep with this man, and she probably already knows she married to a philanderer anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different type of deal. Like you get to the instance, like if you know, hey, my husband got the spirit of God in him. I ain't worried about that. If you worried about your man, if you believe the God is in him and with him, sleeping with another woman, then you don't believe God with him then. Because why would that even be a concern for you? Because you worry about you and you ain't thinking he wouldn't even dare blaspheme his father's name. He wouldn't want to cause the enemies of his God to be able to blaspheme and reproach. You did? And you weren't, because stuff like that, it caught. But of course, like I say, it's a different time because these niggas be horn dogs. You say looking at them as sisters in Christ rather than a significant other. You know what I'm saying? For sure. But I say a lot of niggas be horn dogs, man. You know what I'm saying? That's whether they married or not. So, you got to get control of your loins. This is just yams, cuz. You had one, you had them all. You know what I'm talking about? And what I mean by that is it's going to come to the same result. Some faster than others, but it's going to be the same result. It ain't that serious, bro. He said, what I've seen very recently is a lot of ladies act just like papatars when you flee from their advances. Yeah, man, regular hoes. But yeah, Will, man, you look at that, get that for him. Well, finish this here in John first. Go to verse 38. I get that word, man.
Yahuah therefore, again groaning in himself, come to the grave. It was a cave and a stone upon it. Yahuah said, Take you away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, said unto him, Lord, by this time he stink, for he had been dead 4 days.
He'd been dead a long time.
Yahuah said unto her, Said I not unto you, that if you will believe, you should see the Alahym of Alahym? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And Yahuah lifted up his eyes and said, Abba, I thank you that you have heard me.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that you hear me always, but because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that you have sent me. When he had thus spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot, with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt say unto them, Loose him and let him go.
Grace poured into his lips. 1 Samuel 16 and 14. Because that's a fair question on brother. Run.
But the Ruach of Yahuah departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from Yahuah troubled him.
And Saul's
servant said unto him, Behold now, an evil spirit from Alahym troubled.
So what I want you to do is I want you to look in 14 and 15 and tell me what troubled me. I want you to look, meaning to make sure it's not the same word, so you got to read it twice. Yep. Same word?
Well, the first one is Ba'ath. The second one is the same thing, both Ba'ath.
Go ahead.
That is to terrify, startle, to fall upon, dismay, to be overtaken by sudden terror.
So he's being terrified. This spirit is terrifying and causing him dismay. Let me give you the English definition of dismay. To be dismayed is to cause someone to feel consternation and distress. Feeling intense disappointment, worry, or shock, discouragement, often caused by unexpected bad news or unwelcome situation. You're upset, you're worried. You're at a state of alarm, you feel aghast, and you feel helplessness and worry. You are literally terrified and shattered in spirit due to fear and sudden calamity. So this is the things when it say Saul was troubled, this evil spirit was troubling him. That's what he was getting. Read verse 14 again.
But the Ruach of Yahuah departed from Saul, and the evil spirit from Yahuah troubled him.
Saul's servant
said unto him, Behold now, an evil spirit from Alahym troubled me.
Same way that them people seen how Legion was troubling that man, they seen one was troubling Saul. Go ahead. Let our Lord
now command your servants are before you
to seek out a man
who is a cunning player on a harp.
It shall come to pass
when the evil spirit from Alahym is upon you,
that he shall play well
with his hand, and you shall be well.
Saul said unto his servants,
Provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me.
Then answered one of his servants
and said, Behold, I have seen a son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite, that is cunning and playing,
a mighty,
valiant, a
man of war,
and prudent in matters, and a comely person, and Yahuah is with him. Wherefore Saul sent messengers unto Jesse and said, Send me David your son, which is with the sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse took an ass laden with bread and a bottle of wine and a kid, and sent them by David his son unto Saul.
And David came
to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly. And he became his armor bearer. And Saul sent to Jesse, saying, Let David, I pray you, stand before me, for he hath found favor in my sight.
And it came to pass,
when the evil spirit from Alahym was upon Saul, that David took a harp and played with his hand, so Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him.
Go ahead and tell him what refreshed means.
And there's Ravak, to be wide, to be spacious, to breathe easily, to be relieved.
He'd been relieved. See, he played that harp, I can breathe. He like R. Kelly, I can breathe again. Breathe again. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let me find where that verse at. That's where it is right here, man. 1 Samuel 18. So what caused him to throw the spear at him is when verse 5, man. Is this story right here.
And David went out wheresoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely, and Saul sent him over the men of war. He was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants.
And it came to pass,
as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women came out of all cities of Yasharal, singing and dancing to meet King Saul with tabrets and with joy, with instruments of music. And the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very wroth, saying, this pleased him. And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000,
and to me
they have ascribed but thousands.
But what?
Can he have more but the king?
Now, it's fair. The instance you meant by throwing a javelin, the envy and hatred is already present before the unclean spirit, evil spirit fall on him. Go ahead. And it came to pass.
Saul eyed David from that day and forward.
And it came to pass
on the morrow
that the evil
spirit from Alahym came upon
and
Saul,
he prophesied
in the midst of the house.
And David played with his hand.
As at other times.
And there was a javelin
in Saul's hand.
And Saul cast
the javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall.
And David avoided
out of his presence.
So he threw it at him twice. And Saul
was afraid of David,
because Yahuah
was with him and was departed from Saul.
Therefore Saul
removed him from him and made him his captain over 1,000.
And went out
and came in before the people.
And David behaved himself
wisely in all his ways, and Yahuah was with him.
Wherefore when Saul
saw that he behaved himself,
he was afraid of him.
But all Yasharal and Yehudah loved David.
That's good. So it's more so not the evil spirit that facilitated it, because he was already hating. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he was already hating. But an astute observation nonetheless, because it wasn't the evil spirit that caused it. This nigga was mad. You know what I'm talking about? And you know, from his point of view, you could probably understand why he was mad. Read me Matthew 5 for grace poured into his lips, man, because we'd be lame for not doing all 4 gospels since we mentioned it. Matthew 5 and 2. You can make it 1, man. We'll grab one more. We'll do Matthew 9 just because that's the quickest one in my brain, and we get out of here.
And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him.
It was very well Satan too, Rohan. Go ahead.
And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Baruch are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of Shamayim.
Grace poured into his lips. Go ahead.
But Baruch are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted.
Double grace.
Baruch are the meek, for they shall inherit the
Triple.
earth. Baruch are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness,
Quadruple.
for they shall be filled. Baruch are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy.
Quintuples.
Baruch are the pure in heart, for they shall see Alahym.
Sextuplets.
Baruch are the peacemakers, for but they should be called the children of Alahym. And Baruch are they which persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of Shamayim. And Baruch are you, when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in Shamayim. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
And there you got it. Grace poured into his lips. Matthew 9 and 1, and we out.
And he entered into a ship and passed over, and came into his own city. And behold, they brought him to a man sick of the palsy, lying on a bed. Yahuah, seeing their faith, said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, be of good cheer, your sins be forgiven you. And behold, certain of the scribes said within themselves, This man blasphemes.
Amen, Marvin.
And Yahuah, knowing their thoughts, said, Wherefore think you evil in your hearts? For whether is easier to say, Your sins be forgiven you, or to say, Arise and walk? But that you may know that the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins. Then said he to the sick of the palsy, Arise, take up your bed, go unto your house.
And you know what that is? Grace poured into his lips. Hallelujah for Yahushua in the word, man. I appreciate y'all this evening. And I bless y'all at the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua. And I love y'all and I appreciate y'all, man. Yeah, praise Yahuah indeed, man. Praise Yahuah indeed, man. Prayerfully, you understood all of these things. You know what I'm saying? Praise Yahuah indeed. Peace, Brother Joseph, man. Like I say, man, we got a long, Yahuah Baruch, Mika. Amen, Mika. We got a long road, man. Hold it down, Rohan. Peace, Brother Joseph, man. So we're going to try to exhaust as much as possible to make it plain. So that at least that Lord willing, there's a record that we went about to make this plain, you know? But again, I bless y'all at the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua, man. I forgot, man. Y'all willing, man, we need to be there at 2 o'clock. I forgot the baptism. We get out early. It's not like, it get darker later. Thank you, Yahuah, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, it give us some time, you dig? You know what I'm saying?
So be there at 2 or you starting at 2?
So yeah, if everybody in general there at 2, I can start shortly thereafter. You know what I'm saying? And we can rock it out like that. You know what I'm talking about? And get out there and make it do what it do. Because it got to give space for, we probably might not have to go over as much because they was there for it the last time. But, we got to give space for that, though. I mentioned that because we got a baptism to do tomorrow, man. Leave space for that. Peace, Brother Omar, man. You know what I'm talking about? So, like I said, it get dark earlier, later, excuse me, man. Shalom, my Brother Ernest, man. So we should be good when it comes to that. But nevertheless, on days like that, I like to start a little earlier so we can get done early and get out the door for that and don't have to cut no corners. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, shoot. We've been rolling since last Wednesday, man. Y'all willing tomorrow. Then after that, man, I won't see y'all about about 3 days. You did. And we make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? And y'all willing till then. Dang, I keep forgetting they move that junk at the top instead of the bottom, man.